That's a big 10-4, good buddy.
Tonight, we bring you this week's Flight Sim News, part 3 of our PC-12 ground school. We check out a CAC Winjeel, Orbx British Isles mesh, and an update from Project Apex. I keep pressing it and it doesn't play music. Jesus. I need to fix that. Hello, hello. Happy Wednesday, everybody. Hope you're all keeping very well. You join us here for this week's Flight Sim News. That's right, friends. It's all happening now, look, with my camera angles and things. Right? Brilliant, brilliant. So, hope you're all keeping very well. Hope the weather's treating you somewhat all right. It's positively getting very close to Christmas. Just saying, it's almost Christmas time. But sure, listen, we're hanging on in there. We're hanging on in. So tonight, we're going to bring you all of the news making the headlines this week in flight simulation. We're also going to be checking out part 3 of our PC-12 ground school. Captain Gaiman is going to join us in a little while. And tonight, it's all about the handling. Huh? How does the thing actually fly? So we're going to be checking out ground operations, taxi, takeoff, climb, cruise, descent, approach, landing, taxi, and shut it the downeth. Right? Great fun. Also, a brand new aircraft release from Ants Aeroplanes. Tonight we're going to check out the CAC Winjeel, which is a mad name. It's an Australian trainer of all things. We're also going to be checking out the newly released mesh from Orbx featuring the British Isles. Looking forward to that because, well, you know, some people are saying, listen, is it good or isn't it right? We don't really know, do you know? So we're going to be checking that one out. And then, friends, we have an update about Project Apex coming in here from FlightFX. And I have some new photographs to show you to see what you think. If you can, you know, join the pieces of the puzzle together and we'll see what happens, do you know? So if you're watching us on YouTube, very happy Wednesday to you all. Hope you're all keeping well. And if you're here on Twitch, sure, listen, come here, sure. Isn't it only grand, isn't it? Right. And yes, I've moved around my screens a bit. This is a bigger... The Maverick. No, Iceman. Jesus. Maverick's over there now. There's call signs. I've moved things around a bit and I'm hoping, you know, for the viewing pleasure, things are a little bit maybe different. I don't know. That needs to come down the road. Oh, Jesus. That needs to come down the road a little bit. Just a little bit, right? But we'll get there. I've also managed to do this, look. Now, hang on. You have to tread very carefully. You see? Now, see? That was easy. I figured out how to fix out my audio when we're over this side of the fence. It works out very well, I have to say. Right. So, focus. Right. Tell you a funny one, right? So I was here last night and I was like, Gibbo, yeah, listen, I can't figure out that camera, man. Like the f-stop thingy, well, I wasn't doing what I wanted it to do. And he's like, Murph, you just need to change the f-stop and it'll be grand. It'll take things in your background into a bit of kind of focus. I was like, yeah, no, I know. I have a diploma in photography. I know me story, right? What was I doing? I was trying to lower the f-stop like a big idiot and higher the ISO. I got them completely mixed up. But sure, listen, it's all right. This camera is also known as mallet head. What? Wait, have I music over here? Well, that's, I'm telling you, we're highly, highly sophisticated tonight. I just need to put a mixer over here and then we're absolutely laughing, right? Now, I won't keep you for too long, but I have made some changes. Look at this big idiot. I've made some changes, right? I can even do one of these. What? Jesus! Right? I'm brilliant! Right, the fun I had here setting all this up, right? What else? I'll show you what I can do here now, right? So you might remember, this one, look. Yes. So the GoPro, now lives in the, it now lives in a drawer, God love it. The GoPro it kept overheating and I managed to fix my face cam and I've put it up high on the ceiling, you see. So I've lost a little bit of angle. Only a tiny bit of angle. But it's better. And do you know what I've included now? I need to duck, otherwise I'll look weird. But I have a camera looking at the shelves of many things. Look. Jesus, would you look at the state of it? Come on out of that. Here's me over here, look. In glorious 30 FPS. Because that camera doesn't do any better speeds. Right. Check out the cable tidying extravaganza here, lads. I mean, I'm beyond proud of this. It's grand, so it is. So yeah, I've been busy. Oh, do you know what came in the mail today? I got some stuff. And this here says smooth connection forever. Oh, yeah. It's a very fancy EVAT Toast Consulting, EVAT Master Consulting HDMI leads that go all the way up to 8K. Now, whether or not I can get 8K out of no, you won't. But that's good news. They just arrived this evening, and I intend to check them out and see what I can do. So yeah, it's the news has been kind of quiet this week, hasn't it? I mean, there was an interesting report there that I read it and I watched a video there as well from Obsidian Ant, and it was all about the release of Sim Update 14 and the absolute headache that it was for an awful lot of people. So I suppose when you look at it, and hats off to Microsoft and Asobo, like at least they're able to kind of show you where the issues were. Do you know what I'm saying? Yeah, we made it. Yeah, right. But like for a lot of people, the same issues happened with Sim Update 13. So it doesn't exactly bolster confidence, lads. Sure it doesn't. Oh, look, I keep moving my cameras over here, or my hands. The cat, I'll have to show you this now in a second. Wait till you see what the cat did to me.
That's a big 10-4, good buddy.
I was minding my own business and everything. Now, I don't want to give you the finger, because that'd be rude, but like, look at that. Hang on, will this work if I do something very... Wait till you see the technology at my disposal. Look! I'm trying not to do that, but look, she cut me in my finger, look. It's right there. I hate doing that. I feel like Goose. She cut me in the finger. She went, she said, ouch, I said. And then the cat was dispatched. Do you know? Hoping, yes, we're going to be finding the PC-12 now in a little bit. So yeah, it's sorry lads, yeah. You just come into the stream and there's Murph giving you the bird, right? Do you know what I'm saying? It's all grand. It's all grand. That's how we explain things. Tiny finger. What are you talking about, tiny finger? Teeny tiny hands. So as I'm saying, the news. What do you think is going to happen kind of Sim Update 15? And then inevitably Sim Update 16, and then, next year at some stage, Flight Sim 2024. The good news is Microsoft know what happened. They know how to, they fixed it, right? And they're able to categorically say, look, see that doohickey there? The giggle pin in the laughing chamber? Well, that's what broke it. So it's kind of good that they figured out kind of what broke it. Hopefully they can fix it and it doesn't happen again, you see. Do you know? So anyway, that's kind of the stab of it. We'll go back over here. And I need to turn this and that. I need to come up with a good solution. Maybe I can get some sort of a hydraulic gadget that'll spin.
We've done studies,
Spin the microphone.
60% of the time, it works.
Every time.
Every time.
Right. Right. If I could just turn it in such a way that it was automated. You know what I'm saying? But anyway. We are where we're at, lads. That's all I can say. Anyway, who's here? Look. Rambog Mord, a very happy news day to you, man. Hope all is... Well, I hope things are wonderful and grand. Do you know? Toto is here 2 days after his birthday. Still older, still a little bit wiser. With 2 other birthdays today, by the way, lads. Razor Cab and 6 Knots. 6 Knots is 40, and he's not. I was going to say he's 14. He's not. He's at least 15. But happy birthday, lads. Hope you're all keeping very well indeed. Who else has rambled in here to our den of iniquity? Shunty McShunface, good to see you. Spitfire RAF 100 is in the chat. Welcome in, man. Filthy, good to see you. Space Trooper is in the house. See you later, rambles in. Good to see you, man. Devil Dude is here. Happy hump day to you, man. Hope you're well. Who else is here? Schnars. It's good to see you, Schnars. Shuffle Shoes shuffles in. AJH John, hope all is well. MDA 009. Hello. Vertigo. He suffers from vertigo. It's great to see you, MDA. I saw there in Discord you were having some issues with the latest NVIDIA drivers. So here's the thing. NVIDIA, in their wisdom, pushed out another set of driver updates, and I'll be that guy, the fall guy. I grabbed them. And I have to say, the performance of the latest update, not as good as the last one, which I thought was interesting because it's just not as good. Because I get stutters. No one wants stutters. We despise the stutters, but we're getting stutters. So I need to check out to see what's going on. And I deleted the cache as well, so who knows, man, who knows? Sean Dale, happy Wednesday. Hope you're keeping very well. Gibbo Ireland is in the chat. Welcome in, Gibbo. He says, happy Wednesday. Good luck with Murph 2.0. Right? Do you notice anything different? I've done something different here that you can't even probably notice yet, but I did, and it's different. Right. I'm very busy, very productive. Viber Strike is here. He says, good afternoon, Murph and Fireflies. I flew the 737 across East Africa today. Nice. Good to see you, Viper. Liptorius is here. I need to change the colour of that. Liptorius. Howdy, man. Canoe Head. I'm ready to be educated and entertained. Yes. Welcome in. Welcome in. Chalks is in the house. Good to see you. Black Ice Gabe. We have a Black Ice Gabe. It's good to see you. He says, happy hump day, muchachos. Muchachos. Good to see you. Now, where are we at? We're over here somewhere. Nico. Nick is in the house from Flight FX. APX. Project Apex, lads. I'll show you some pictures here now in a moment. You have to figure out what it is. Some say it's a flying giraffe. Jamaumu, it's good to see you, man. Eagle Airways, Aaron. Very happy Wednesday to you. I hope you're well as well. There's a fella who's a script. Marwan is in the house. Good to see you, man. Jason, the lads on Flight FX are... I should have cleaned or something. But on the kettle, lads. Love your work. Love your work, lads. Hope you're all keeping very well. Zythia is in the house. Dougal McTavish, the chairman. Welcome in, Dougal. I keep calling you the chairman. I wonder will people start, like, you know, addressing it as the chairman? Mr. Chairman, do you know? Trits 4 rambles in, good to see you. Proby Pete is here. You're very welcome aboard. The Limbics. The cheeky work lurk as usual on a Wednesday evening, Thursday morning, as he watches us over on YouTube. It's good to see you, man. You're looking well. Top of the morning to you. It is morning, yeah. Jesus. Sai120 is here. Good to see you. Now, where are we? We're over here. 6 Knots is here. Happy birthday to you, Kieran. Hope you're well, my dude. Soaring AJ has rambled in. AJH, man. You're looking well. Nightsep is here for a second time. Catch a B. Good to see you. Good beats there. Well, thank you very much. I played them myself. Someone else made them. But thank you. Stick Figure, good day to you. Hope all is well. Goblin Zeus is here. Gary Duggan. He says, good morning from Gosford in Australia. I trust everyone is well. Gary, did you ever see the CAC Winjeel? Are they like very popular, or were they very popular over your neck of the woods? They should have been. They were a trainer, right? And I don't mean like the ones you put in your feet trainer. Do you know what I mean? Anyway, the camera is also known as Mallet Cam. I should really put a name on these. Yeah. Wait, what do you mean Mallet Cam? What are you talking about? Jan Race is here. It's good to see you. Now, we're catching up. Hemmingbird. Are you making a new series? Because it looks like you're filming the pilot. Happy hump day. That's brilliant. Hemmingbird, our resident pun initiator. Pun influencer. Pun influencer. That's a good one. Try and say that 10 times fast. It'll work, lads. What's this button do? Asher, listen. The tunes now, lads. Come here to me. Be Gary, be Concha. Now, we're over here, look. Catching up. The video was interesting. It was nice up, wasn't it? Captain Ray is here. Good to see you. Gary JF is here. Hoban, good to see you as well. Defiant Braun has rambled in. The Polar Bear says, in contrast, my massive Forza Motorsport update went smooth. That's the thing, right? You'll come across other games or sims or platforms that just have like zero issue. And you have the ability to roll back to the previous issue. Explain, Laminar. I'm just saying, right? Anyway, we'll get there. We'll get there. Now, Scorpio49 rambles in. He says, good evening, Murph and chat. I've not had a good day today, so I'll need you to lift my spirits. I had a procedure, Jesus, that resulted in getting a dozen staples hammered into me head. Scorpio, tell me, that's not a procedure. I mean, that's some sort of a strategy. When you think about it, right? God almighty. Well, I hope you're lying down with the rug over you with a cup of tea. You know, maybe some nice biscuits or something. Jesus, I thought I was having a bad day. I won't tell you what I did. I couldn't possibly tell you what I did, but it was sore. And the cat cut me finger as well. Tell you, I nearly bled out. I'm having a rough time of it, lads. But feel better soon. You poor old devil, you. Now, let me see. Robski, good to see you. Happy Wednesday. Nicef says, Obsidian Ant, don't you love the guy's voice? You're very welcome back here to another Microsoft Flight Sim video. He's amazing! So, everyone in the house, shut up! I want to listen to this YouTube video. Who's this fella? Be quiet and just be taken away to the pleasure lands listening to this voice. The remarkable update for Microsoft Flight Sim. He's amazing! Brilliant, best voice in the business. Well, slightly behind 10 minutes to London, but then, you know, Obsidian is up there. He's up there. We know he is. Anyway, I'm over here, look. Catching up here now. Dragon, good to see you. Kingsman 9965, all the way from Liverpool. Good to see you, Kingsman. Now, Onboard Simulations, happy Wednesday. Good to see you, man. Mick Ham is here. How are you, Mick? How is she cutting? Muse fan bursts in the door like a fella who's late. He says, how he is, yous legends, yous. Happy hump day. It's good to see you, Muse. Now, I survived the big 50, says Toto.
Look at this big E just...
Who said that? Who's... In back in your box. Toto, you're 50. You don't look a day over 40. Now, let me see. We're over here somewhere. The stutters are probably the shaders being recompiled. That's very possible. But they were stuttering before I deleted the shaders, if you know what I mean. It's not very sunny where I want it to be sunny. Brighten it up there now, Jemima, will you? Look at that. Clouds, Murphy, clouds. Beautiful airplane, this, isn't it? Anyway, let's see what happens now. Iron Knob Airways, good to see you. QC Frank is in the house. From now on, I'm going to call you Sim Lord. Where did I get that? The Lord of the Age. No, wait. Sim Lord. The Sim Lord. It just right. Do you know? Gaseous Maximus is here. It's good to see you, Gaseous Maximus. Hope the Gaseous isn't too Maximus. Vacuum. Good evening again. Mark II, indeed. Apex Legend. Yeah, that's... No. No, I don't think the lads... Well, it could become an Apex Legend. Yes. We'll find out now in a moment. Now, let me see. Kata Tenari, you're very welcome in. Now, where are we at? Ibanez. Top of the evening to you, man. Hope all is doing wonderful. Area 10 is watching us over on YouTube. You're very welcome aboard. Hope you're well as well. I need to come up with like better kind of, do you know, hello and the usual, but like I need to come up with, like, remember the sign off we did on Monday? I mean, that was smooth. I need to come up with like a better kind of an introduction, a welcome you in sort of thing. Something like the Great Orators. Now hear this! You shall walk into, do you know, something along those lines. Haven't figured it out yet, but we'll get there. Musefan is a great fella for the old poems. He'll give us some good verbs here now in a second. Now, let me see. Boeing Man is here. Hello, Boeing Man. You're very welcome aboard. Mickey Ozzy, good to see you. Waffler 11 is here.
That's a big 10-4, good buddy.
It's a big 10-4, good buddy. There's things happening. Now, let me see. Helder, welcome aboard. Who's this? Frontist, you're very welcome in. Kozaki, happy news day. If you like old airfields, the Thorpe Abbots base, that base is used in Masters of the Air. Oh, nice. I cannot wait for that TV show to come out. It's going to be even if it's not, it's going to be a masterpiece. Do you know what I mean? Now, let me see. Ewald is here. Hello, Mr. Flyage. You're very welcome aboard. Good to see you, man. Right, Italian Yang fan is in the house. Good to see you, man. Gary says, yeah, I've seen the Winjeel flying. I also had the Winjeel in FSX. We'll definitely get it for this platform, and it does beautiful work. And Airplanes does amazing work. Absolutely fantastic. Zybok Doc is here calling from Denmark. Hello from Tipperary. I hope you're keeping very well indeed. Canoe Head says, is this a new channel challenge? What body part can I break today? It could happen. Sure, it could happen. Now, let me see. We're over here, look. Not trying to let the cat out of the box, but we thought you'd find another camera angle. Oh, yeah. I have a couple of pictures here. What's going on? There's all stuff happening. Jesus, why can't I see them alerts? We're getting alertified. Oh, look. Holy crap. Eagle Airways. Did you just see what he did? That was very low. Did you hear me little hype train bell? Try that again, Murphy. What? Eagle Airways. Aaron just gifted 10
studies, you know.
tier 1 subs.
60% of the time, it works every time.
You absolute mad legend. Thank you very much indeed, Aaron. God almighty, lads. 10 tier 1 subs. Yes, are brilliant. 10 people just received a sub. Now you have fancy. I laugh like that in the morning when I wake up and I realise I have to go to work. And then I end up crying into me coffee.
That's a big 10-4, good buddy.
The mixture is strong on that. We need to lean that devil out. Aaron, thank you very, very much indeed. You absolute ledge. Now, where are we at? We're over here. We're catching up. Captain Sickbag is here. It's good to see you. Very welcome in. Now, let me see. So when are we getting the new hub, Murph? Quiet you, will you? Who asked you? The tease is killing me. I'm telling you. I give lessons on great outros. What in the name of Jesus is going on? The whole chat has gone friggin' nuts. Y'all need to just calm down and sit in your hands. You know, think of positive, nice, relaxing places. Perhaps somewhere...
Hello there.
Somewhere nice. Hang on, I have a button for this. Sure, Jesus then. Couldn't you just picture it now, lads? There we are, sitting in a field of thistles. Not on the thistles, because they hurt. Do you have thistles in America? Actually, hang on. For the... What do you call someone who studies plants? A botanist? No. What are them fellas called? You know the fellas I'm talking about. Do you have thistles in America? Basically, they're like a cactus, only worse, right? Because they blend into the countryside a bit better, but they really hurt.
10-4, good buddy.
Chat's gone nuts. I'm not to lose and everything. Wombat is here. Good to see you. Quick, send reinforcements. Professor Siege, you're very welcome aboard. Good to see you, man. Now, let me see.
That's a big 10-4, good buddy.
T. Gladman, you're very welcome in. Hello, watching you.
Dreamy,
watching
sleepy,
us.
nighty, snoozy, snooze.
I'll just sit here and just react, right? You're watching us on YouTube. Thank you very much indeed. You're looking well. Looking very well. Ozzy Mandius is here. It's good to see you. Now, let me see. Mike, welcome in. How Irish is this dude? Fierce. Fierce, Mike. Oh, Jesus, then. 'Tis awful Irish, you know. Rusticrate is here. Good day, man.
That's a big 10-4, good buddy.
Knightsep is currently munching on Kyo's Shamrock and Sour Cream Crisps right now. I actually wanted to know, did Kyo's put real shamrocks in with the ingredients to make the perfect potato chip, or in our case, you know, crisp snack? Seemingly they don't. But yeah, horticulturist, come on MDA. Jesus, there's a man that knows us. He'd be fierce handy in
That's a big 10-4, good buddy.
a pub quiz, a table quiz. Jesus, there would be. Gardeners. Gardeners is a fancy way of saying it, yeah. We have the stinging nettle. It sounds some... Oh, nettles. Did you ever have nettle soup?
10-4, good buddy.
They're not all that cracked up. Just wondering, Murph. Yeah, what someone that smokes plans did you say? What? No, Big Al's. No, we're not saying that at all.
10-4, good buddy.
Jesus, the place has gone nuts. I can't hear myself think. We're on a level 6 hype train. Will someone please think of the children? Jesus, hang on. Now, we need to get back to these. So, Aaron, you mad devil.
10-4, good buddy.
Then Mr. Hoppy jumped on because he's mad. Mad, I tell you, with 5 gifted tier 1 subs. Then, before we could even get a breath, Toto jumped on and he threw in 5 gifted tier 1 subs.
Good buddy.
Then Fierce Wolf threw in 100 bits. Mr. Hoppy threw in 100 bits. And I had to go and lie down. God almighty. It's all... Oh, Jesus. Did you say... I nearly... That would have been hilarious.
Oh, behave.
I positively would have passed out, but it would have been brilliant. It says there's shamrock in it on the ingredients list. Made with real shamrock. Yeah, but did you ever, like, taste a real shamrock?
Oh, behave.
They're not all that cracked up to be. It'd be the most tamest of... Could you even call it a herb? Or an herb? Why do people call them herbs? It's a herb. There's a H in there. You don't go around calling it an hospital. Well, unless you're from parts of England, I suppose.
Yeah, baby. Yeah.
They have funny accents in places too. Who's in charge? Right, well, I'm going to show you something now. Jesus, better finish that. I'm going to show you a picture. Yes. And from here, we need to decipher what it is we're looking at. Right? So this here, a picture taken in the wild of an upcoming aircraft currently in development by our good friends over at Flight Effects, including Marwan. The excellent work that brought us the H-Jet, we have the Vision Jet, right? So we're looking at this. I can tell you straight away, it has some buttons and switches. Green ones, white ones, red ones, and even... Would it be beige or would they be kind of khaki? Right, I don't know what they are. So if you know what it is, drop it into the chat. I'm not going to confirm nor deny, right? Now, I hope I get this right, because if I move my keyboard button to the right, it could show something hilarious, which I don't want to do. Or if I move it to the left, it should show me the next picture, because I think this is the way I opened it. This is live. So, oh, thank God for that. Here's another picture of the thing that we're showing. Do you know what it is? Can you tell what it is? Does anyone know what it is? Red buttons bring the most joy. Right? We don't know what it is. I reckon now, and now, you know, I'd be fairly accurate, but I reckon this has to be something like the easily now, without even, you know, really thinking about it, it's definitely something supersonic. I'm thinking it's the Blackbird. Right? Think about it now, right? It's looking fantastic is what it is, isn't it? It's looking amazing, right? Kaharia, the lovely Kaharia is in the house. Good to see you. It's a plane. Yeah, it's a plane. Jesus. Gibbo. Gibbo got it right. It is a plane. Oh no, the entire production is ruined because he knows now that it's a plane. Regardless of what we're answering or what we think it is and what we think it isn't, doesn't it look incredible? I mean, look at those textures. Look at the state of those textures, lads. Absolutely beautiful. The colouring here is spot on. The avionics are... Yes, plenty more, please. We want it. Now. Right now. And we want more tomorrow, and we want even more yesterday, right? Spoiler alert! It has wings. Oh, good man, you're... Oh, jeez. Look at the state of these. You can't be... Hang on. Save the image. Hang on, Nick. We get this sorted now. Where does that go? Oh, yeah. Get in there. He's after sending me even more images for our viewing pleasure. They're brilliant. Right, get in there now. If I go this way... Oh, Jesus. Would you look at the state of that? Lads, this is ridiculous looking. Look at the detail. What do you think? Isn't it gorgeous? Look at the state. PC lag has really spoiled it for me. What PC lag? Your PC lag? The FMC gives it away, really. Maybe. VC10, wouldn't that be cool? Is it in Danish? What is it? What in the heckin' heck? 99 Tango, good to see you.
That's a big 10-4, good buddy.
Cold Nebo, come on yourself. Lads, would you look at the state? Isn't it gorgeous? How do you not get any work done? I'd be just sitting here all day looking at these pictures going, it's so beautiful. It's so beautiful. Now, it's a what's it 240? Yes, that's exactly what it is. So there are some guesses in the chat. Some have got it, some haven't. But it's a project known as APX, a project currently in development by Flight Effects. These are the guys who not only bring us sceneries, but they've also brought us the Vision Jet, and with Marwan working away with them, also brought us the Honda Jet or the H-Jet, two incredible aircraft in Microsoft Flight Simulator. And, well, we are aware of the other project, but this one here is just like, what? This is what they're currently working on. And it's still in a relatively early stage of development, but it looks absolutely stunning, doesn't it? It looks gorgeous. So, some people have the right answer, some people don't. I can't say. Well, I could say, but to be honest, I'm not even sure. So, you know, it looks what it is. But exciting stuff nonetheless coming in here from Flight Effects. What do you think, lads? Doesn't it look great? It looks fantastic. Husker Du says the Vision Jet and the H-Jet are so well put together, but they're also so mind-numbingly easy to fly. Looking forward to something that presents a nice challenge. Yeah, well, the H-Jet and the Vision Jet, well, that's kind of modern aviation, I suppose. Do you know? They make them a lot easier to fly. So, yeah, these are all preview shots of an upcoming aircraft, and I have to say, they look absolutely spot on. They're gorgeous. I love the colours. Do you know? And look at the reflections and the texture work. It's only stunning, lads. Stunning. So, nobody knows. No one knows. No one knows what it is. No one actually kind of, like, it starts with an M, and it sounds like Hassie Ferguson, right? If you can get that much, you're laughing, right? Sterling, it's good to see you. So, great news and excitement coming from Flight FX. I mean, look at the state. Don't mind me now for a minute. I'm just going to look at I didn't see these yet, but they're absolutely fantastic. So, hopefully we'll have some more preview pictures over the coming weeks from Flight FX. Excellent work, lads. They look freaking gorgeous, do you know? Right, so what I need to do, I need to pause my gadget and move over another gadget, because now, ladies and gentlemen, it is time for the news. Yes, that's right. So our news brought to us from our good friends over at msfsaddons.com. Big shout out to Vasco. And of course we have news coming in from FS Elite. Hello to Callum and all the lads as well. Two awesome websites that bring us, well, all the news. So what we have here, Flight Sim Studios E-Jets project. Well, we get an update. The current status and future roadmap of these Embraer aircraft. So, as 2023 draws to a close, Flight Sim Studios, the team behind the ambitious E-Jet series from Microsoft Flight Sim, reflect on the past 24 months of intensive development. Their journey, which started around 2 years ago, has been marked by both achievements and unexpected challenges. Now the developers have offered a transparent update on the current state of the project, particularly focusing on the eagerly anticipated custom FMS with its new LNAV and VNAV functionality. Initially, the roadmap planned for the early access launch by Christmas 2022, followed by a significant feature add-on and the release of the E190 and 195 as a separate product for summer 2023. The plan also included the release of a specially developed FMS and autopilot for Christmas, marking the transition to version 1.0. We can see it here, the road to it. Now this should... It worked earlier. Let's see. Yeah, no, it doesn't work now. That's really strange. The whole thing went. Anyway, we'll go back here so you can see some of the pictures. So the update or the work that they're currently doing, you can see the roadmap here, right? What's green is done. What isn't green, well, isn't done, right? Isn't done. So reality diverged from these plans. Flight Sim Studio explained that the first 6 months post-release were consumed by intensive bug fixing, delaying the development of the E190 and 195. But despite the setbacks, the team managed continuously to improve the aircraft and its systems, even as they expanded and restructured the team to accommodate the project's growing complexity. So we can see all the stuff here. And like with the roadmap, there's some interesting stuff, right? So we have a center of gravity calculator, right? Custom ground proximity warning device, an EFB, an IFE moving map, WASM in the PFD and the MFDs. There's a whole load of stuff coming up here, right? But you see where it's missing some kind of clinical data. Custom TCAS, SimBrief API, the Microsoft Flight Sim nav data, they're all kind of still being worked on, right? Anyway, the project is about 6 months behind schedule, unfortunately, but that's kind of where it's at. However, the approach for the FMS involves coding the entire system outside of the sim, allowing for more efficient development. This includes creating subsystems like mathematical functions for navigational tasks, integrating with various data sources, and also a custom TCAS system, among others, right? So there is a video here showing some of the avionics and what they're going to be looking like. Have a look, lads. Isn't it only cool looking? Next to Jon Snow, Murph is my favourite news presenter. You know nothing, Jon Snow. That's pretty mad looking, isn't it? Look how fluid it is. Right? Looks very, very fancy indeed. But anyway, all the challenges, the team remain committed to delivering a high-quality FMS and an autopilot system. Also, the 175 has improved significantly. As always, we'll keep you updated with the project over the course of 2024. To give you a background of this aircraft, right? It was released in early access. And it got kind of slated by some people saying, it's not ready and it's not finished, and we knew that because it's early access. They have made very good progressions over the last kind of 12 months. I have this aircraft. Now, I don't fly it an awful lot, but I see the likes of, Dave is flying it quite a bit, 757, and it's getting there. It really is. They're adding in a lot of features. It seems to be fairly kind of, structured updates that the aircraft is getting. So if you're on the fence about it, a lot has happened since it was first released. An awful lot of updates has happened since it was first released. So maybe have a gawk and see what you think. Do you know? Now, close that one. The first previews of the PMDG 777 for Microsoft Flight Sim. PMDG have released the first preview image of its upcoming 777 for Microsoft Flight Simulator. Founder and CEO Robert Randazzo initially said on the PMDG forums, coupled with an update, there are a few other projects that are rolling up on critical stages of the development and release cycles. Previews are being prepared, and I'm looking forward to welcome you into the hangar with a glass of eggnog in hand. About 24 hours later, he returned saying that while they had hoped to make a ton of progress of the new product previews the previous week, he spent nearly 22 hours in calls with various members of the team, also with Boeing, accountants, lawyers, and 3 other software vendors that they rely upon. He accompanied this with the first screenshot inside of Microsoft Flight Sim showing the aircraft's iconic 6-wheel main landing gear in impressive levels of detail. One of the engines can be seen behind the landing gear as well. If you have a look at that picture, you kind of see it there. Now, this is huge news. Anyone who wants the 777, it's going to be fantastic, right? What's that? Murph is a close second to Walter Concrete. That's terrible. But Jon Snow knows nothing. You're all giving me a hard time here, right? I should make up my own news. That'd be way more fun, wouldn't it? And tonight they've made a penguin that can dance. Anyway, no further information is available, or a release date, or even pricing following the release of its 737 and the DC-6. The 777 from PMDG is their most anticipated aircraft and one of the few known high-quality long-haul aircraft currently in development for the sim. What do you guys think? When do you think they're going to release the 777? Do you see it this year, or is it something maybe into next year? It's definitely an airplane I'm looking forward to. I had the 777 back in FSX, really enjoyed it. It was awesome. Do you know? Dancing penguins, what's next? I'm telling you. Reporting live from the road is a man with a face. I think I want to see that penguin, right? 2 weeks' time. Yeah, it could be soon. Trademark hashtag hieroglyphic. Yeah. I don't know, like we saw the kind of lead in time for the 737, which was a couple of months. Then we saw the lead in time for the EFB, a couple of months. And now we have our very first preview shot of a 777. Who knows what the lead in time is going to be? But yeah, considering how long, the EFB, 21, 23, says Lardy Bart. Yeah, it's probably out there. But anyway, it's still exciting news. They're showing us now previews, so that means it's getting there. It is getting there. Anyway, moving on. Ants Aeroplanes introduces the CAC-25, the Winjeel for Microsoft Flight Simulator. Acclaimed aircraft developer Ants Aeroplanes have added another aircraft to the platform, the CAC-25 Winjeel, an Australian trainer once used by the Royal Australian Air Force. It was their primary piston trainer. This thing was used in the 50s and 60s. All the way up to 1975 it was used, right? It's a 2-seat, low-wing, fixed undercarriage tail dragger, and it holds a special place in Australians' aviation history. Its reputation, known by its pilots as being robust, versatile and enjoyable for all pilots and their skill levels. Ants Aeroplanes rendition tries to capture the essence of the aircraft. The model boasts highly detailed textures and animations, reflecting the Winjeel's unique design. The cockpit is also very detailed and features meticulously modelled systems and controls. Beyond its visual fidelity, the Winjeel offers a range of features that look to enhance the overall flight experience for simmers. This is important stuff. For example, there's a pop-up tablet that provides convenient access to preferences and autopilot operation, while a pop-up GPS aids in navigation. Persistent fuel and oil settings ensure seamless transitions between flying sessions. The aircraft also features 3 custom pilots, including a vintage Royal Australian Air Force pilot and a modern male and female. It also includes a walk-around. Have a gawk at this, look. Just have a gawk at this. I just hear in the background. So, Ants Aeroplanes, what was it, the moth? The tiger moth? Yeah, absolutely brilliant. And have a look. I mean, there's all clickable things. You're doing a walk-around. I mean, this is a page taken out of the book of A2A, right? It's brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. And you can see the level of detail, look. Isn't this incredible? I love this. It's fantastic news. It's robust. It hasn't met Murph yet. I'm telling you. I'm going to take this for a spin here now in a little bit. The Drifter as well, Super Typhon. Yeah, absolutely. The Drifter was a great plane. Well, I say plane. It's like a flying kite. It's very, very good though. But this is impressive, right? Walk around. You can open up all sorts of doors. You can check for oil and the fuel and all the jazz. So this looks very, very promising indeed. Anyway, true to Ants Aeroplane's typical commitment to realism, the Winjeel incorporates advanced features that capture the intricacies of operating the aircraft. It's available now over the sim market for a very reasonable $17.95. It'll also be coming out on the other stores soon. It's nice. So we're going to be checking this out. I'm actually going to fly this on Friday. Well, we'll see how we get on tonight, but my plan is fly it this Friday and we see what happens, right? Anyway, FSDG have released landmarks of Germany, the Mecklenburg to Vorpommern. Wait. Yeah, Vorpommern. We got there, didn't we? Anyway, wait and hear this. Flight Sim Development Group have released the latest addition to the landmarks of Germany. This time, the team invites virtual pilots to explore the northeastern federal state of Germany, which this landmark pack receives an unprecedented level of detail, especially aimed for VFR pilots. The Landmark of Germany series from FSDG is a treasure trove for VFR pilots flying in Germany. The latest regional pack offers more than 1,000 meticulously crafted objects that bring the region's famous and prominent landmarks to life. From castles and bridges, television and radio towers, every object is placed in its exact real-world location, creating an immersive and authentic flying experience. This looks pretty nice, right? Now, PS Miranda is here. Good to see it. We call it MechPom. Ah, there we go. There we go. Pilots can expect to navigate using a diverse array of landmarks. The pack features extensive list. They have everything from water towers, radar towers, chimneys, antennas, solar parks, and they even include a number of lighthouses, which are key navigational aids and a hallmark of the region's maritime heritage. FSDG's Landmarks of Germany series aims to cover all the federal states of Germany, and this being the latest release. Pilots can look forward to future releases covering the remaining states, each promising to deliver the same level of detail and accuracy. So far, we have Baden-Württemberg, Hesse and Thuringia, Lower Saxony and Bremen, and also the Schleswig, Holstein and Hamburg. My pronunciations right now, every single person from Germany is vomiting into their Leberhausen, into their stew. Yeah, right. Anyway, have a look at this, right? This is interesting. This is what they're working on. This is the map. And these are all the POIs or landmarks, if you like, that they've included. There's an absolute ton of them. Look at the amount of them. It's ridiculous, right? So if you want to do like real world navigation VFR, you're going to be fairly covered here. Like Latin VFR do a great job as well, but like this, it's just nuts, right? Nuts. Anyway, you can see all the ones. The list here is huge. All the bridges, right? It's fantastic. It's absolutely fantastic. Do we have a price? It's available now. It's €9.99, lads. It's a tenner. It's pretty good. Pretty good. Muse fan, shut up, will you? Anyway, moving on. FSLTL. They've updated their model base to 1.3 and it adds new aircraft models and almost 100 brand new liveries. So, when it released in 2022, FSLTL quickly became the go-to solution for an excellent and free way to significantly improve your AI traffic in Microsoft Flight Sim. An easy installation, an extensive library of aircraft and liveries, alongside some custom effects and sounds, and also some VATSIM model matching, it's a must-have utility for virtual pilots, especially for those flying on the commercial routes. FSLTL team didn't rest on their success this past year, and they continue to deploy updates to software, both to the models and to the injector itself. The latest update to the base models is one of the most significant, adding new aircraft models such as the 787-800 and the ATR 42, 5 and 600 variants. There's a bunch of liveries that match those as well. It has some 1,900 real-world liveries across dozens of airliners used all over the world. The update also introduces improved aircraft animations and sounds. There have been fixes to some animations where it comes to the flaps and also reverse thrust systems, and an overall improvement in the sound quality for all the models, with particular attention given to the startup and shutdown sounds. These improvements are especially notable for VR and headphone users. The lighting system also received a substantial update. Users can now choose between Fox flare or no flare landing or lighting options, and adjustments have been made to flash rates on the aircraft strobes, their nav lights, beacon lights to better match real-world standards. Taxiing and landing lights have been modified to fix onto the front gear, and they turn off when retracted. Additionally, some parked aircraft now feature logo lights and different interior lighting colours. These are just some of the most important changes introduced in the FSLTL base models version 1.3, and we have a full release notes below here. There's an absolute ton of stuff. Absolute ton of stuff. So FSLTL, this is free, by the way. If you have it, do be sure you update it, and if you're thinking about it, well, just grab it. FSLTL. It's available through the whatchamacallit, the fly-by-wire installer. So if you have the fly-by-wire, if you go down here to where it has FSLTL, this is where you can grab it from. So you need the injector and you need the base models. How cool is that? Fantastic work from FSLTL. Now, Orbx have released the British Isles mesh from Microsoft Flight Simulator. We're going to check this out tonight. So Orbx continue to expand its mesh series for Microsoft Flight Sim. We've seen already releases for Iceland. We have Alaska, the Himalayas, Asia, South America, and so on. Now they've looked to the United Kingdom and Ireland with the EU British Isles mesh. As with all Orbx mesh packs, the development of the British Isles mesh focuses on enhancing the existing default elevation data in the sim. Now, just to explain to you what mesh is, right? So when you're flying over scenery in the sim, think of mesh as like, the wire grid under the scenery, okay? It gives it its, terrain height. It gives you kind of river widths and depths, lakes, all that sort of jazz, mountains, valleys, you name it, that's what it does. And then the scenery, be it satellite imagery or photogrammetry, sits on top of that mesh, right? So that's what this does. Now, there are some jaw-dropping updates with this release because they have up to 2 meter per pixel resolution here in places. And for Ireland, that was a huge need because the cliffs of Moher are more like the cliffs that never were. Do you know what I mean? But anyway, before we get into it, we need to kind of see it for ourselves. They have showcased a couple of areas, including such iconic places like Snowdonia. They have the Scottish Highlands. They also have Killarney National Park. They have Glenveigh National Park. And of course, we want to go out with the Cliffs of Moher as well. They look incredible. They do look incredible. However, it's not a case that, they've enhanced the satellite imagery. So the satellite imagery is only going to be as good as what, Asobo and Microsoft can kind of inject into it. But at least now the mesh should be a lot more realistic than what we're currently used to. I've always said the mesh in Microsoft Flight Sim default was very, very good. Even for Ireland, it was fantastic when you compare it to the likes of Laminar or any other place that you're going to get your mesh files from. You know what I mean? So we'll have to wait and see. Now, where are we at? Gibbo's sending me stuff and I can't read it sideways. Anyway, that is the British Isles. It's available now for £7.59. We're going to check this one out here now in a couple of moments. So moving on, Fly Tampa. We like Fly Tampa. They've updated Las Vegas version 2 with some animated points of interest, including the MGM Sphere. This is huge. So when the sim released all the way back in the summer of 2020, Fly Tampa were in very quick because they released the Las Vegas airport. It's now had a significant overhaul with version 2. A highlight of the update, of course, the inclusion of the animated MGM Sphere, featuring multiple projections that are particularly eye-catching for pilots flying in and out of the local airport. Beyond the Sphere, Fly Tampa have introduced animations to several important landmarks: the World Resorts, the Mirage Volcano lava effects, the Circa Hotel Wall, and the Las Vegas monorail have all been given dynamic updates, further enhancing the visual appeal of the city. But the update is not just about the visual enhancements to the Las Vegas skyline. It also includes practical improvements to Harry Reid's International Airport. The enhancements range from the improved jetway animations, accurate AI parking codes, to performance enhancements and updates to airport static jets. Additionally, updates to Apron Clutter, Caesars Conference Center, the LA Conventions or the Las Vegas Convention Center, and improved animations for the Bellagio fountains all contribute to a more authentic and detailed experience. Those who own the original version of the product can get the comprehensive update for free, and if you're thinking about buying this, well, you can pick up the scenery for about $22. Las Vegas for the sim from Fly Tampa is excellent. It's one of those jaw-dropping moments. If you're flying at nighttime, for example, and you're flying from, let's say you're flying from LA and you want to go across the Sierra Nevada, isn't it the Nevada? Anyway, you go across them and next thing, way off in the distance, you just see this orange glow. That's Vegas. And as you get closer and closer and closer, the detail and the lighting, it's stunning. And it's great to see this thing getting a massive update. And it is a massive update. I'll go flying here, probably on the weekend, we'll just do a mad flight. But look at the changelog. And it's a free update, lads. This is great. Can't wait to see the Sphere. Yeah, it's absolutely brilliant. Let me see. Turner says there's a new update out for the F-14. Oh, nice. Abana says, and unlike Dublin V2, we didn't have to pay for the update. That's what I mean. That's a huge update by Fly Tampa, and it's for free. So, okay, the price, $21.99 if you already have it. Well, we feel very happy about ourselves because, for instance, if this was a $10 or $15 scenery, chances are you'd be charged again for an update. So thank you, Flight Tampa, for just making your stuff better, right? Great news. Anyway, check out this one. Flight Panels have released a update or a profile for the Garmin GTN 750. This is pretty cool looking. Flight Panels, the UK company that has released a series of professionally designed Stream Deck profiles for the sim, have announced the launch of the latest package. This time the focus is not on the functionality of a specific aircraft, but rather a standalone avionics package for the popular Garmin GTN 750 offered by PMS50. This new addition of their product promises to elevate the simulation experience, who value the intuitive and ease of use of the Garmin GTN 750. This avionics solution is revered for its user-friendly interface and advanced features in nav, communication, and situational awareness. Those who own a Stream Deck can now seamlessly integrate both systems for a unique new way to manage the GTN 750. And here's the thing, you don't need to own the actual physical Stream Deck. You can get a virtual Stream Deck and like pop it on a tablet or on your phone. There's all ways around it, right? It's pretty cool. Anyway, created and crafted from scratch, Flight Panel's profile for the Stream Deck XL includes a new installation and configuration process encompassing 5 separate Stream Deck profiles across more than 45 pages. Huh? It's huge. But look at all the options that we have, right? You can see them there on the screen. Tons upon tons. There's also support for the Stream Deck Plus, the very latest entry into the Stream Deck family, known for its tactile buttons, rotary dials, and touchscreen, thus serving as the perfect platform for the highly detailed autopilot panel created by Flight Panels. If you own one of the powerful Stream Deck devices and make the extensive use of the PMS50 GTN 750 with these profiles, may be the step you need to bring both products together. You can get both. The Garmin GTN Stream Deck XL and the Stream Deck Plus are available over on this company's website. Let's go over and have a gawk. And it's €26.95. A bit on the heavy side, but hey, if it works, right? If it works. Let's see here now. This product not all available. Screenshots are shown. It looks here, actually, lads. I was talking absolute pure rubbish. I think you actually need to have the physical. You need the physical Stream Deck. That's interesting. Let me email the developer to find out. That's a good one. What do you think? Would it work? Would it not work? Would it work? Stream Deck Mobile is monthly. Yearly is $24.99. I need to find out would it work on the mobile one. Because like a Stream Deck XL, what are they? About 200 quid? About 200 bucks? So I'll need to find out. Do you know what I mean? But yes, we'll see. Now, let me see. Ultra Gaming, good to see you. You're very welcome in. So moving on. We'll close that and close that. I saw this bit of news on Facebook the other day as we all eagerly await the release of what Airplane Heaven are cooking up. But they came out with an update the other day, look, and they were saying sounds again. Okay, it seems that we have some people who don't fully understand the processes involved in sound development for projects. That's an interesting tone to take with potential customers. But anyway, I'm now going to spell it out, so hopefully people will not be confused or not understand why a project is not yet released. So we're getting clarification here from Airplane Heaven, and we like their work. I mean, they've made some stunning airplanes. However, this relates to the sounds. And it's interesting what Airplane Heaven chat about here, right? When you hear this. The implications for developers meant either learning the entire production process for WIs and mastering it, because Microsoft Flight Sim has its own unique sound engine, which technically uses DirectX, but it doesn't, right? That's what held up A2A, for example, getting AccuSim. It was the sounds was one of the huge red flags on their development. Anyway, to achieve professional results, the learning curve for WIs is extremely steep, meaning most developers would need months of no production focusing on the sounds only. Hardly a reasonable business decision for most. So, most quality developers choose the route of using the professional sound studios if possible. I say if possible because the costs are very high. Thousands of US dollars for which the average developer is beyond their budgets. Choosing a professional studio who does production for Microsoft Flight Sim is one thing. Finding one is another. There are precious few who do this work, and they are all incredibly busy, as you could imagine. Airplane Heaven use the services of Sim Acoustics, and we've heard of Sim Acoustics before. They do incredible jobs, incredible work. But you can imagine what their workload is. How many aircraft developers use Sim Acoustics to do their WI sound engines? It's an interesting kind of development. So here you have Airplane Heaven from their side of the fence. They don't want to release an aircraft with legacy sounds because, well, the WI sound engine, it's incredible, right? So they've done all the work in their aircraft. They've submitted it to someone like Sim Acoustics, or in this case, it is Sim Acoustics. They're waiting just like we are. And people tend to give them a bit of kind of crap over it. Oh, where's your plane already? God damn, right? There's nothing they can do. Very little they can do, you know? Unless, of course, they start developing their own in-house sound engineers who can work with WIs. Probably not a good decision plan because, well, they charge a few quid. Do you know what I mean? But yeah, I thought it was interesting. So the Lancaster is an enormous project that continues to grow, especially now that we've added the Dambuster variant. Get this. And yes, that requires unique sounds like the motor that drives the spinning bomb up to the correct revolutions. I mean, that's a level of detail now that's getting kind of mad, right? So that's the sounds they're trying to put into this project. The freaking little propeller on the back of the bomb, they want it to sound right. That's what they're getting involved with here. So that's what's holding up all the sounds, you know? Gibber says, sorry, but Airplane Heaven's customer service is consistently shocking. I remember Colonel Fork having a rant about them a few years ago. Why treat talk to customers like this? Oh yeah, but I don't know what it is. These guys can come across as like, holy crap, they said what? And other times they're like, well, maybe there's like, here's the thing. Are they getting trolled by a handful of people, or is it just absolutely shocking you haven't a clue how to speak publicly to customers or potential customers? And it's one or the other, right? It's there's a very close line between the two of them. There's no doubt about their passion for making aircraft add-ons in the sim. And I think, you know, Airplane Heaven bring with them such a high quality level. And they make some incredible airplanes. There is no two ways about it. They just do. But when it comes to the customer care or lack thereof, it's a head scratcher. And I think we've all learned this. I mean, my experience with Microsoft Flight Simulator, more so than any other, you know, flight sim over the years, I care more about the developers than I do the product, which is weird. Before, give me the plane, I want to go flying in it, right? Now, I'm all about, well, I want to know more about the developer. How did you build this? Why did you build this? What's your passion? Look at the people we've spoken to over the years, all these developers who are so enthusiastic. They're so passionate about what it is they're trying to do. They're fans of aviation and lovers of aviation, just like you and me. And then you have some other kind of dudes out there who, the cold face of business. You know what I mean? It's interesting. Interesting. Yes. Devs do take a lot of stick, that's for sure. But that's the game. Yeah. Can they not submit things for sounds first as it takes the longest? I imagine they did, Big Al. They probably submitted this not years ago, but certainly some time ago. Jay Winokur has subscribed. Good to see you, Jay Winokur. Welcome in. What do you think, lads? What, like, when you're looking at an aircraft, do you care anything about the developer? Or you just want a good you just want a good aircraft or an add-on? Or when you're getting an aircraft or an add-on, you want to have, you know, that level of support, right? That open line of communication. I don't know. It kind of makes the whole thing better when you can reach out and talk to a developer. Spitfire says, yeah, developers count big time. Yep. I care about the devs that care about customers. Well said, Dougal. I only care about the developer if the add-on in question isn't working. Okay. If you have a good dev, you forgive a lot. True. They were rude to Bursix when he only threw the option of using the Asobo Mustang sounds for their fantastic Mustang. Customer service is poor on their part. Yeah. Hey, Cockspur dev team, Seb! Good to see you, Seb. Welcome in. Where are we at? Abana says devs will always get trolls, but they should be more professional and rise above it. Or they have they are no better than trolls. Sure. What's the point of a sim if it doesn't sim?
They've done studies, 60% of the time it works.
Every time. Hammer Nails is here. Good to see you. Yeah, it's hard to call, isn't it? It is hard to call. For me, I think, as I said, getting to know the developers behind the add-ons has been so refreshing. It really has, because you get to see what they're actually working on. You can get that sense of excitement and passion from them. It's amazing. You get caught up in the whole thing. You know what I mean? It's fantastic. I love it. I think if you care about devs, you get better add-ons. Yeah. No, it's definitely an interesting one. That's why I said we'll have an old chat about that one. There's no doubt I cannot wait for the Lancaster, the Hurricane, and everything else that these guys are cooking up, because, well, they look absolutely gorgeous, right? They look fantastic. But, yeah. Anyway, moving on. Airfoil Labs have released the Cessna 172 NG analog for X-Plane 12. Now, Airfoil Labs, these guys in the world of laminar research and X-Plane, these are the closest in terms of probably an A2A-esque kind of developer, right? Airfoil Labs have done some stunning work, and their Cessna 172, the NG, and the steam gauge version was always a favorite of mine, because, well, they really delve into the systems of how the aircraft works. So the good news is they've now released the NG steam gauge version for X-Plane 12. And with that, it comes with a whole load of new features. So X-Plane pilots rejoice. You now have an exceptionally good general aviation airplane, the good old Cessna 172. And like, this is the sort of stuff you can see. It's the depth of simulation with this. It's up there. It's right up there with your A2As and so forth. Really, really good. Do you know? So prices. When here it is. Where's it now? You can purchase the Airfoil Labs Cessna analog from the X-Plane store for the sale price of $49.99. The regular price will be $59.99. Different markets, you know. But it's a beautiful airplane. I had it on X-Plane 11. That got a ton of time. And at the time, it was certainly the closest thing I had in a flight simulator that resembled the real world aircraft I was doing a bit of flight training in. So yeah, as a 172, probably the best Cessna 172 in flight simulation at the moment. A2A are very, very close there as well. But that's back on, you know, FSX and P3D. You know what I mean? So that's a bit of news from X-Plane. Now, moving on, friends, moving on. We have news here of Flight Sim Expo 2024. Registration is going to open on December 17th with exclusive offers for the FSA members. So we all know Flight Sim Expo is going to be hosted in Las Vegas, Nevada on the 21st through the 23rd of June 2024. And, well, they're doing their early bird specials and discount offers. It's going to be held at the Tropicana Hotel Resort in Las Vegas. And registration is going to open on December 17th. Here's an interesting one. Can we create a poll? Can I just do that from here, I wonder? Hang on a second. Can I create it that way? Hang on. I wonder, can I... why didn't I do that? I can't do the poll there. No. Hopefully we'll have our new hub before FS Expo. I need to do a poll. Anyway, we'll do a poll now in a minute. Who's going to FS Expo and who's not? That's the poll we want to ask. Who is actually going to Flight Sim Expo and who isn't? That's what we're trying to figure out. Right? So if we can get an L poll started, I'll try it here now. Seb, you're going. Can you imagine now? We'll have to end up in another karaoke bar. You know, this time we'll sing. We'll completely throw them off. We'll sing. But speaking of Flight Sim Expo, well, there is something happening in Europe, and myself and Gibbo were chatting about this earlier on. Flight Sim Weekend. We're aware of it, but we're starting to look into it a little bit because, well, it's only over there a bit. Do you know what I mean? It's not across the Atlantic. Anyway, this is held in Holland. And it's on at an interesting time of the year, March 16th and 17th, 2024. And this is very close to CAC, because it's down near the aviodrome by the how does one pronounce that? The Luchtvaart Museum. Right, anyway, in the heart of the Netherlands, aviation enthusiasts are gearing up for the extraordinary adventure as FS Weekend makes its grand return to the Aviodrome Museum in Leistad in March 2024. This year, events promises to be an aviation experience like no other. So I thought this could be interesting. I've been to FS Weekends. It's very small compared to Expo, but it's got heart. Oh, that's a nice way of putting it. Some of the guys who are going to be here, some of the exhibitors, well, Inibills, Navigraph, PMDG, Aerosoft, Sim Market. Okay. And we also have a couple of hardware guys, you know, Flight Sim Web Shop or Web Shop, Simple FCU, and so on and so on. Anyone going to this? Let us know. Let us know. Like the program, good to see you. I'm considering flying a 172 there. It's only a 2-hour flight from Southern California. FS Expo, like the program, that'd be awesome. It's great that there's something like this going on in Europe. They're Gibbo, 100%, man. I live in Vegas, so I'm going. Come on, G Slayer. Like, Just Flight used to do one called the Flight Sim Show. They used to be over in Cosford, in the UK, RAF Cosford. I've never been to it, but like that's only across the pond as well. So look, there seems to be a lot. In the United States, you have a much larger presence with FS Expo. And in Europe, here's an answer that'll be happening in March. Maybe you'll go to both of them. But I thought it'd be interesting. Now, before we go over and say hello to Captain Gaming, because he's probably sitting there going, Murphy, come on. He's up early in the morning. 5 minutes. FS Hub. There's a lot of updates going on here. And, well, one of them is the portal, if you like, when it comes to Air Economy. Air Economy is currently up and, well, it's currently being rolled out slowly but surely. You have an option within FS Hub to start looking at the Aero Economy. It's effectively a virtual economy for your flying within the land or the realm of FS Hub. It's open to pilots who are not registered, or it's just pilots. Forget about the virtual airlines just for now. But you're invited to jump on, try out the Aero Economy, and you can gain some of these virtual dollars that you can use within the virtual economy system, be it buying fuel, buying aircraft, all that sort of jazz, right? And it's slowly but surely being rolled out. We are testing this for the virtual airline because we'll eventually get the green light to say go forth, and we'll open this up then to Firefly Air. There's a lot of content with this, so we'll break it all down and make it very accessible for us to start learning about it. But the big news, the big immediate news, I was chatting with Bobby the other day. Bobby owns and runs FS Hub, right? And FS Hub, of course, is home to Firefly Air. That's our virtual airline. We are the largest virtual airline on FS Hub, which is remarkable. We started off in May 2022, and to this day, we have 553 registered pilots, and we have some 87,000 flights. It's incredible. It's absolutely incredible what you guys do, right? But anyway, one thing that might be keeping some of the pilots away from using FS Hub comes down to the use of FSU IPC. I have two things to say. Number one, if you are having problems at the moment connecting to LRM, which is the landing rate monitor, which connects you to FS Hub, make sure that your FSU IPC is up to date. And there was an update released only in the past week or so, right? Are you going to... Oh, come on, Gibbo. Gibbo did a poll there for us. You legend, Gibbo. That's interesting. So here, I'll go back to Flight Sim Expo now in a second. With FS Hub, make sure you have FSU IPC up to date. However, if you don't have, or you don't want to be using FSU IPC, Bobby should, hopefully this week, have a solution that does not require FSU IPC to get LRM connected to your sim. He's going to be using Sim Connect. It's all but ready, and we're hoping that he's going to deploy it over the next few days. This means you can now use Flight Sim or FS Hub with LRM without the need of FSU IPC. It is huge news, because a lot of people were having difficulties, stuttering, CTDs, all the sort of jazz. So there's like so much news in relation to Firefly Air and everything that goes on with FS Hub and the Air Economy and LRM. There's lots and lots of stuff going on. So if you are a pilot with our beloved virtual airline, there's a lot of content coming our way soon. If you're thinking about joining a virtual airline, you know, what does that entail? We're very laid back. Do you know, we don't get too excited. Very few rules. Fly what you want, when you want. Every time you go flying, you're building up XP. We're not replacing our XP system. This is just an additional option we're going to open up to the virtual airline. So if the Aero Economy doesn't compel you whatsoever, you've no interest, well, that's fine. It's not going to impact on what you currently do, and it's not going to impact us in terms of the content that we create. the air economy is another element, if you like, to what the virtual airline can do. It's really, really exciting news. So I thought I'd pop them on over there. Do be sure to have a quick look at it. Now, on our last bit of news, our VATSIM events, right? Every week we go through a couple of VATSIM events just to see what's happening. And I found one here. There's a Christmas fly-in in Hungary. Enjoy full ATC coverage in the Hungarian airspace throughout the day from 0900 Zulu until 1700 Zulu, as they'll be working the long shifts to deliver you an awesome Christmas event. We'd be more than happy to see you on our scopes, to make sure you hop on over to the likes of Budapest and do your thing. Hello. Where was that? Where did that come from? Where did you get it? That's a PC-9. Deadly. Thank you very much. A little pin with the wing bent, but I'll fix that. But anyway, so this one here is happening on Saturday, December 16th, from 0900 Zulu. If you've never flown on VATSIM before, just jump on in, have a listen to it. You can go in observer mode, listen to what's being said, or if you fancy your chances, just go for a flight. It'll be grand, lads. Absolutely grand. Do you know what I mean? So, with that said, we return back here now. Oh, wait, the gadget. Gibbo did a poll for us there. Are you planning to go to Flight Sim Expo in 2024? 73% said no. 20% said yes, and 7% are working on it. That's an interesting poll. Now, we'll have to get more numbers, and let's see what we can get up, or get more information soon. But 70%, 73% are saying no. I'd love to know why. I would love to know why. Anyway, right, so what we need to do now, I need to do science over here. So I'm going to go to this screen for a minute. I'll go over here. And I'll turn my microphone so you can hear me. I'm very skilled here, lads, very skilled. So I need to press some buttons. Let me see, is Captain Gaiman in the house? Press some buttons, Murph, you're doing very well. And let's see what happens here. Press the button. Hello?
Hello.
Asher, it's yourself. How's it going?
I'm here. I'm alive.
That's quite okay. You sound fantastic. Now, what we're going to do today, Captain Gaiman, we're actually getting to fly this machine. I mean, it didn't take us long, did it?
No, just a couple weeks.
I'm going to make those mistakes that everyone else did, only because, I'm going to hit my hand, only because I can say, well, I'm learning. Because there is something quite unique about this aircraft when we fly it, because the rudder is connected to the gadget that you're just not used to.
Yeah. It has quite the unique thing, and the interconnect, that's definitely unique. And like I think it's a first in flight sim. I think because I think Alex had to completely customize it. So
I think it is the first in flights. I have, because there's no other aircraft that I'm aware of that has it. Do you know?
yeah,
So
I've never flown an aircraft that has it before, so I'm gonna go with it's a Pilatus thing. But I'm sure someone who flies more airplanes than I do can tell us. Yeah.
we can let them verify it. So for anyone who's new here, if you haven't checked out the last couple of episodes of this, Captain Gaiman is a real world PC-12 pilot. He's been working with SWS, giving the lads just information on what to do and how to do. So what we have here today, we started off with an introduction. We started off, or then we followed up with looking at some of the systems, and now today we're going to fly it. So there's a couple of things we need to keep an eye on when hand flying this aircraft. And well, as we said, the connected rudder and aileron is definitely something that'll throw you off. You still have independent use of your rudder via your pedals, but if you move the yoke, well, it's going to be moving the rudder, and you'll see all of that happening now here shortly. Also, we have our power modes and our power settings and the optimum power settings that we can use and utilize with the aircraft. And I think I'd be right in saying transitioning from, simulation based, transitioning from something like a Cessna or even the TBM to this PC-12 and trying to land it, it brings with it a brand new challenge. That'd be a fair kind of assessment, wouldn't it?
Yeah, it comes down to a couple things, the aircraft itself and how it handles. Two, the constraints we have in the sim and how the flight model is made in the sim.
Now tell me.
So,
you would have
go ahead, please.
You would have spent a lot of time working with the lads in relation to feedback about the flight model, because Well, you fly the real thing, right? So how do you feel over the months of working on this aircraft to where it is now? I mean, if you were to jump into this plane in the sim for the first time, having never flown it before, how close would this compare to your real world operation of a PC-12?
I mean, in flight stance, it's pretty spot on, to be honest, with and having learned like limitations of like the Pilatus has a very unique nose down approach when you're landing it. So you have to get used to transitioning from a 3 to 5 degree nose down to a 3 to 5 degrees nose up on flare. So
Hmm.
you really have to get used to how to do that. And part of it is the Sims way of ground handling. Every developer knows that the ground handling is it needs some work done to it.
Hmm.
And they did that with the latest update and with the newest update of the PC-12. We did some work and hopefully fixed there was people skating like on ice,
Hmm.
which we knew. But it was kind of the documentation for the ground friction model and Flight Sim's not the best. So it was kind of Alex like, let's try this. Let's try this. See, throwing spaghetti on the wall and seeing what sticks. So we definitely fixed it a little bit, and yeah, the handling is actually really good. Honestly, there are probably little tidbits of things that we can go through, but um, I'm relying on the other testers at SWS and kind of watching videos of them flying and watching the numbers because I wasn't going to ship my very expensive, precious computer down here and my honeycombs to Puerto Rico, as then getting it back would be even bigger pain in the rear. So, yes.
I I could totally imagine. Right, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to start it up, right? And let's see how all this goes. So yes, we'll give it a bash and see what happens. So let's be grand, right? So we'll start it up. We're going to get the engine up and running because that's kind of where we need to start, and then we'll talk about the flight surfaces, the control surfaces, and kind of basic handling.
Now just remember, I am on a delay because I'm watching your stream. So
that's okay. When I crash, I'll say nothing, and then I'll fix it, and then it'll be grand. So you'll say, "Murphy, you're doing a great job," and I'll be like, "Yeah, totally fine." Okay, so decent start on the engine. We're coming up here on 60 NG. ITT should peak at around 694, nice and gentle. So good start. Got our gens on, standby bus off, avionics 1 and 2 coming on.
ooh. That's a very common rookie mistake, and I've done it many times, is turning the standby bus off before the avionics, because in the real world, the pilot monitoring usually has the flight plan in on one of the GPSs, and if you shut the standby bus off before the avionics bus, you just lost your GPSs and everything. So then you have to go back in and reprogram it all over again.
Is that modeled in this, I wonder?
It is.
You're joking. This is fantastic,
No?
right? So let's say, right, if I do a simple direct 2, right? Let's pretend this is now set up and I've done all my flight plan and everything else. So I'm going to turn on my standby bus, turn off the avionics, right?
So then the 650 would, I think, is what's going to stay on. The way that it's wired is it the 650 should stay on. Keyword is should.
Should, right.
Yes, but it looks like it is not doing that. So, something we got. You said you have the PMS or TDS?
PMS.
Okay, I'll add that to the list.
We'll add it to the list. Broken parts number 1. Responsible party, Murphy. Brilliant.
Then now.
It's only a small to do. Now, there was a couple of changes made. Oh, actually, do you know what? This is not the most recent version. That's why.
Did you not download the brand new one?
No, because I'm an idiot, and I saw the message earlier on. I was like, "Oh, I need to grab that," and now I've just realised, yeah, I didn't grab that. But it's grand.
Yeah,
we should be all right.
There's going to be a couple things that don't work, like the VOR needles will be incorrect. Yeah,
that's quite.
The ground handling will be a little skatey.
Don't mind them. That just looks like an extra challenge then for me. It's totally fine. Right.
You have nice rudder pedals. You can sort it out.
Oh, we'll figure this one out. It'll be grand. Right. So let's have a quick look here. So I think we're looking okay. The pusher light is on. Why is that now?
Because we didn't do the pusher test.
Ah. And that
Yes, and you need to be in flaps 15 to do that.
Oh, I forgot all about that. See what I mean? You walk away for like 2 minutes and then the whole thing wrecks your head. Why isn't the pusher test working? Try it again. Okay. Look at this big Aegis. Yes.
Advance the throttle. You have to wait for flaps 15 to be indicated.
Ah, I gotcha.
And yeah.
Okay,
it's really picky, this plane.
I love that though. If you don't behave, it'll kick you. Right. Overkill is here. Good to see you, man. Don't look at me while I make mistakes. You'll instantly feel better about yourself. In fact, come on in. Wait till you see what I do wrong. It's brilliant. Right, so the pusher's doing pusher things and I'm going to stop it. Right, now, Grant. Yes. Now my little light is turned off. I'm going to disengage. No. I'm going to disengage the pusher test and I'm going to press the button here to make it stop. Oh, Jesus. Hang on.
What happened?
I made the balls of it, but I'll fix it, right? The light is staying on.
Okay.
Now it's off.
Let's just do the... Okay. Yeah.
And now I'll turn it off.
Yep, let it push, and then you push the interrupt button. Wait for it to come back.
Ah, I didn't do that. Right, okay.
Yes, now you can disable the pusher interrupt and the pusher test.
Okay, so we wait. So I'll press the button and wait for it to come back, yeah?
Yeah, and then it should stay away. We haven't had any issues with the pusher test yet, but...
I could break this as well.
Well, in any case, even if we don't get it, it's not the end of the world.
Not the end.
I don't believe you're going to stall the plane.
I wouldn't do something like that at all.
So,
yeah, the pusher light.
So we're just kind of winging it to get it in the air. We're not following any ground procedures here, guys. We're just kind of.
It worked.
Doing it to get it up.
I knew exactly what I was doing. It worked, right? It's totally fine. Right. So what we're doing a quick flight here out of Shannon, and we're going to head down to Cork. And I'm pretty much flying this VFR. I'm not worried too much about life in general, because, well, it's all about the handling of this aircraft. So one thing I want to have a quick look at here, right, is exterior view. When you move the yoke, and this is what's unique about this airplane. When you're moving your yoke for ailerons left or right, you'll notice that it has an effect on the rudder. The rudder is moving as well, which could really throw people off. Here's a question for you, Captain Gaming. Does that mean you can nose wheel steer this aircraft just using the yoke?
No, so that's a limitation of the sim.
Okay.
We couldn't tell the sim, hey, if I move the rudders, it needs to move the yoke. We couldn't say, hey, but guess what? If I move the yoke, you can't move the rudders. Like, there wasn't a way to have it one way but not the other. Unfortunately, in the sim, yeah, sure, you could drive it like a race car, but in real life, no. It is only one way that it does the interconnect.
Right, okay, sweet. Dougal McTavish says, Murph and Captain Gaming, I spent time at V1 Simulations. He loves the add-on, says the flight model is first class. Nice.
Well, much appreciated.
V1 is great.
We have spent many hours outside of the real airplane. I basically didn't have a life this summer in New York City.
Here's one for you, right? So, general aviation, especially with smaller aircraft, taxiing, right? You tend not to taxi with your flaps down in high wind because, well, you're creating more of a surface for the wind to bash. Is that as prominent in a PC-12 or does it really matter?
So the plane, I think even the AFM says that you need to take off at flaps 15. I haven't like today. In case you're curious, guys, there's a cool phenomenon in St. Bart's during like near Christmas. We call it the Christmas winds. Today it was 060 at like 22, gusting 34 in St. Bart's.
You can land in that?
Oh yeah.
Yikes. Okay.
Yeah. But yeah, here it's and the plane doesn't really jump around because if you do have that, the CV envelope is really good on this plane. Like Pilatus did a really good job to where like it won't jump around, it won't push you around. Like it is fantastic how stable this aircraft is on the ground.
Nice. Old Veteran is here. Good to see you, Scott. You're very welcome in.
I learned something cool. I guess I kind of knew this, but I was just reminded last night by the CEO. We had our company party last night and doing shots with the CEO last night. That was pretty wild. But ignoring that fact, does anyone know why that's called the PC-12/41, 45, 47. Does anyone in the chat know? And we'll see what people come back with.
That's a serious question.
There is a reason, and it was actually pretty smart.
Nice. So just run by the official name, PC-12 dash...
Slash. It's PC-12/41 was the very first variant. Then you have the 45, and then the 47, 47 Echo, now 47X, I think. I can't remember what the NGX is. Even though I think it's EX. I think it's EX is for the NGX. So Pilatus, in their wisdom, was like, how can we tell the differences between all the models of the PC-12? Well, it had to go off of the max weight. The PC-12/41, the max weight was 4,100 kilos. PC-12/45, 4,500 kilos. And now we're in the 47 with its max weight of 4,700 kilos.
No way!
Yep.
That's what I wish I knew that. Hang on, I'll edit all this out. Go back to the video and say, I know the answer. Right, it'd be grand. That's pretty cool, yeah.
That's pretty cool.
Because, like, a lot of the times, like, you know, the number of the aircraft didn't always necessarily relate to, you know, number of engines or the capacity or, you know what I mean? Some of them do, but a lot of them didn't. So that is really, really interesting. Pilatus, they're a great bunch of lads.
They really are.
Looking forward to this eventually landing on Xbox. Yes.
Yeah. I know Xbox is like, I know you guys are feeling neglected, but I promise Alex is straining away at trying to get the main issue of the Xbox taken care of, and it happens to have to do with, you know, the condition level, the thing you kind of need. So he is working really hard on getting this done and for Xbox. 45 had small winglets, 47 had funny enough, the winglets were actually like optional depending on what they wanted, and then near the end of the 47, Plus is like, yeah, no, everyone's getting raked wings now.
Nice. Now here's one for you, right? Let's go nav on GPS and we're locked in. Perfect. So we're now on the runway, facing runway heading, and we're gonna bring our condition lever onto flight idle. All right.
Yeah, so the final items check. Flaps, lights, condition lever, pause.
Sweet. So we're walking, talking, and squawking. So, yup, there you do, will you? We'll have sounds coming in. So typically, when you're going to be taking off, you as a real-world pilot, what's your thing? I mean, will you kind of step on the toe brakes, hold it, wait till you achieve a certain amount of torque, and then release? Or is it just, well, it depends on the runway, I'm sure. But, like, is it a general kind of roll up and power up? Or is it, no, give it socks?
Well, kind of like it is also dependent on the runway, but secondly, like if it's the first flight of the day, we usually do a static takeoff. You know, we're gonna push the engine to the limit, standing still. If anything wants to brake, we want to brake it then, right? When we're not moving. So we always do that first flight of the day, and then, yeah, honestly, depends on the runway. But like here in San Juan, for those who want to look stuff up. We use runway 10 all the time, and since the taxiways and we have to go down to Hotel 4, people I'm sure will look it up and be like, oh, it's halfway down the runway. Yeah, I only have 4,000 feet, and I still take off at a rolling takeoff and get off the ground in plenty of time.
Nice. All right, okay, that's actually...
But in the sim, it's best to hold the toe brakes, put majority of your power in, and then let it go and roll, because by the time you get your power all the way in, if you do a rolling takeoff, you'll hit that 80 knots, it starts swirling, and it just makes it difficult, right? So that's the best way to do it.
Sweet. Okay, so typical power setting, you're going to be between 80 and 95 for takeoff on your NG, yeah?
We look at torque. Torque is 44.3 is your max torque.
44.3. Okay, so power's up, off the brakes, increase.
Now, pull the yoke halfway back a little bit so that when you hit 75, you start pulling the yoke back and she'll come right off the ground for you.
Oh, nice. Okay, you're holding steady.
I am being blown up on Discord.
That's straight up. Nice. Now, here's one for you, the myth. When it's time for gear up, do you tap the toe brakes? And the reason why is basically to keep the underside clean, isn't it?
No, we don't. You can. I guess it doesn't make a difference because I think if memory serves me correctly, there is a tire stopper.
There's a tire stopper
there.
on this. All right, okay. So it
I'm
depends on the
pretty
aircraft.
sure. Yeah, it does, honestly. But I can't remember off the top of my head. I never tapped the brakes, to be honest.
Okay. I blame Steve at One Knievel for years of watching them, and it's like, yeah, tap the brakes. I do it to everything now. It's like, yeah.
I was taught that in Multi as well. You know, flying DA-42s in Multi is you tap the brakes, bring the gear up.
Yeah.
So it honestly does depend on the aircraft. And then you didn't arm your, I guess it doesn't really matter, you're hand flying it. So
yeah, we're pretty much just hand flying for the moment because it's, again, looking at the outside, right? Even when you're hand flying it, so there is a very small degree of that rudder not moving when you're using ailerons. So if you're using very fine input, it doesn't seem to be moving it. However, if you put in a lot of bank or turn, you'll see that rudder doing its thing. Now, that obviously diminishes with the yaw dampener on.
And it actually diminishes in real life. It diminishes with speed. Faster the aircraft goes, the less and less the interconnect actually works.
Sure, because you've the wind kind of keeping it straight and level. Like that's
exactly.
Nice.
So in most part, and like I tell people this a lot, and I'm hoping people finally start understanding when they fly this more and more. You need to bind your trims. Trim is super important in this aircraft. You should always be trimming it if you're not on autopilot.
So everything from the rudder to your pitch, aileron, the whole lot.
Not really the aileron. That's a personal choice, but definitely your rudder and your stab. Because people don't understand is they're like, oh, the stab moves very slowly. Trust me, it's irritating. It does move very slowly in real life. In reality, it is a jack screw, the same kind that moves airliners, controls. It moves that whole stabilizer in the back of the aircraft. So it takes time to move that, and that's the number one problem people say when they go to round out, and they're like, oh, I don't have any more authority in my yoke. Well, probably because your trim is pointed pretty far down.
But come here, isn't it gas, right? Here's one for you. When you're flying in a plane in real world, you can feel when you need to add in a bit of rudder trim, because I mean you can actually feel the plane kind of slewing. In flight sim, it's a little bit more difficult because okay, you could be looking at your instruments or whatever, or you're looking out the window and you kind of get a grasp to say, yeah, I'm kind of crabbing it here. But like when you're flying, it depends on the wind, of course. But like you're constantly on the trims, like constantly, unless autopilot.
Unless autopilot. Like when I come into land, I have spots for my trim. Like I know where I've been flying it long enough that I know where I like my trim. You didn't engage your vertical speed, by the way.
We're good now, yeah.
Oh, yeah, we fixed that, by the way, in the new version. So anyone who is like, it's not doing it, it's fixed. I promise. But yeah. So sorry, sidebar. What was your question? One more time.
No, just like you'd be using your trim the entire time. Like you're constantly on it.
Like okay, so yeah, landing. So I have specific spots, and I've told people in the Discord many times. When depending on winds and situations, for the most part, I honestly keep my rudder trim in one spot when I'm coming into land. I even set it in the downwind. I don't care if the plane is skidding through the air because I know when I start pulling it back, guess what? It's going to get less and less effective. So the nose is going to point more and more to where I want it. Aileron, I've never touched aileron, I don't think, in my life.
Really?
I don't think I've ever touched aileron trim in my life. Yeah, no. And obviously stabilizers, that's always moving. And I kind of do a no-no, but it really works well on this plane is and it's a tip I've got from one of the guys in our company who has almost 20,000 hours in a Pilatus. We run the trim when we cross the threshold for landing. I'm running trim up, and I'm holding trim up until I touch the ground because that's going to move my nose up and flare it for me. It's chef's kiss. It's like there's bacon on the freaking runway. It's beautiful.
That's cheating.
Yeah, I know. But and people's gonna be like, well, what if you got to do a go around? You better got some arms. You better be pushing while you're running that trim. Like, yeah.
Okay,
it's incredible.
So from the cruise perspective, when you're cruising, right? Because we're kind of cruising here now. There's a couple of things we can keep an eye on. We'd be looking at, For instance, I have traffic there. You're monitoring your torque, your ITT, your NG, your fuel burn.
Yep.
You're doing
Most
all
importantly,
these.
your torque. Your torque and your ITT are your two you're going to be looking at. NG, we don't really care. I think there's only been one time that I've gotten close to 104, but that's your max. And for the most part, you will never reach that. Your ITT, max ITT for cruise is 760. Your max torque for climb is 36.9. And then as you get higher, the air, and when you close your inertial separator, because you want all that air going into the combustion chamber,
Mhm.
um, the air gets less and less dense, which means that chamber heats up, up, and up. So you're going to get temped out, which means you need to start pulling the torque back. As you get higher, I think that happens around like 12 to 14,000 feet. You start temping out.
Mhm. And even
So
now, so my inertial separator is still open because I'm at 5,500 feet. I'm at 33.5 on the torque. If I close that inertial separator, I should see an increase in torque. Would that be right?
you will. Yep, absolutely.
Wonder how much we'll get.
Well, there's only one way to find out.
Let's see what happens. So we've now turned off the inertial separator. It does take a little bit of time to close up, but you can
20
see
seconds to close.
20 seconds, right? So we can see that torque is starting to rise. So what are we saying? 36 is the max?
36.9.
Okay, so we better pedal back here just a little bit. So yeah, that rises. I love that. And if
And
that
the cool
goes,
thing too is it's also with the boots. Turn on your boots. Guess what? You're gonna lose pressure because it's pulling air out of like the P2 or P2.5 section of the engine, something like that. So you're losing air.
awesome. I'm loving that. Like there really is a lot of stuff going on here, Dan. That's you gotta love it, right?
Oh yeah, this plane is fantastic. It's really thought through, and SWS did a fantastic job of recreating it. And we still have miles more to go with some upkeep, and then all the failures that'll eventually be coming.
The failures have me absolutely kind of terrified because the last couple of aircraft that have been released, and we've seen some absolute crackers, right? A2A, we've seen FS Reborn, we've seen what Black Square did with that TBM. The PC-12 is a different beast so far as when you compare, the M500 or the TBM or this, well, we kind of said this in the first episode a couple of weeks back, this is a utility aircraft. It's pure utility. It can carry your passengers or your cargo, but it's a utility style aircraft. But with it comes its own flight characteristics. And it'll handle, and well, they all handle differently, but this one in particular, it flies so differently than the other two. A little bit faster than the M500, a good bit slower than the TBM, but because you have this, rudder and aileron all connected together, it's a very different type of flying just with this one airplane. Not to mention the, its carrying capacity and performance and all this sort of jazz. Like when you transition or when you train to fly a PC-12, let's say you're flying, flight school stuff, be it some Pipers or Cessnas, like how much of a learning curve for the hand flying element, just flying the airplane. I mean, any report I've heard on the PC-12, and that's just some of the lads in the Air Corps, they said it's so nice to fly. It's one of the most stable and fluid airplanes to fly. Have you found that the same?
It's gentle. Like I did flight training in Diamonds, and they're basically gliders with an engine. Those are super stable, super fun to fly, fantastic. I'll always love Diamonds. And then I taught in Pipers, which are good. I flew a couple Cessnas, but then I actually flew a TBM. I think it was a 700. I flew it with the owner back to get an annual, but and that was like, that was an eye-opening thing because to me, I'm like Pipers, like whatever, taxiing along. The TBM, it was like clawing and pulling like an old granny with a Great Dane, like yanking it down the damn sidewalk. Like I'm trying to like push the brakes, and he's like, "You got to go easy, put it in beta." And he's like, telling me all these things. I'm like, I don't understand. But and the PC-12 is fantastic. It really is a good aircraft to fly, and it's kind of cool the iterations. Like in 45 and early 47s, they don't have these things called Flettner tabs, which are these like little tabs on the at the ends of each aileron that go into the wind and help redirect the force of air and help you move the aileron. Which makes it so light and so nice to move. And then you get the 45 and 47s that don't, and it's like flying a freaking dumpster truck. Like you're trying, like manhandling this thing left and right if you're going fast enough. But honestly, cruising through the air, she just wants to keep going. She literally doesn't want to stop. And it's such a good aircraft.
It's definitely like and it's pretty up here too, right? I mean, it's a nice cockpit. I mean, even the mixed gauges. I mean, everything's very much glass, but like you got your old steam gauges in there with a nice mix of the glass as well. And it's very it's very logical. That's what's frightening about the thing. Like it's aircraft tend not to be logical. It's like, hang on, especially like, I mean, these first came out in the 90s, I think, or the late 80s. There's so much logic built behind these aircraft of where everything is. It's the pet hates, I suppose, or the creature comforts when it comes to being a pilot.
Well, like it's if you look at the cockpit too, you'll notice that most things are oriented on the left side instead of the right, because it is designed to be a single pilot operated aircraft. It's certified to do such. And if you go back and take a look at photos of like the Series 9, which I don't know if I sent you a photo of it, but like literally your entire overhead is just electrical switches. That's it. So then everything else up there, lights, de-ice boot, air conditioning, everything that would be up there is literally just stacked next to the left yoke. And I mean like stacked. So, and there's no differences in the switches. So you kind of got to like make sure you push the right one. Uh, or, you'd be turning on the boots instead of the prop, or boots instead of the probe heat. So then you got to wait for the boot cycle to stop before you take off. So then you just lost your takeoff clearance. So, it's a really oriented to being a single pilot operated aircraft.
Nice. Let me see now. Can you talk a little about how to get the reverse throttle in the range with an inexpensive throttle? Do we need extra software? 99 Tango depends on your hardware, dude. Most throttles would have either an axis, or you can kind of bind it to a button.
So what I see a lot of people doing is using like spade or axis and O's. Apparently, it is consensus that most people use spade. Which I never knew, but you use spade, and spade has an axis keybind that is negative 100% to 100%, which means you can access the entire throttle range in one go. So that is possible, and unfortunately, Flight Sim didn't add that in as a default keybind, but we're hoping for 24 that they, I don't know, do that.
Fingers crossed. Okay, and typically then, so we got the airport in sight. We're probably going to just do a downwind and then circle back. But for our approach, well, for the landing more so, like reverse, okay? Basically, we're going to look for the flare. As soon as we have contact, reverse would be activated on 3 points of contact or 2.
Two, just the main wheels.
Just the
main wheels are the only ones that have weight on wheel sensors.
Okay. So, do you ever give this full pelt, or is it just kind of halfway back? Or again, it depends on the runway.
Depends. It depends. If I want to make a lot of noise and want to be seen, I'll put it in full reverse. But it's just passenger comfort, right? Like if you fly this plane correctly, like and you land it, as soon as we touch down, we usually put it in ground idle and just put it in beta. And for the most part, you don't even have to use brakes to stop the aircraft. It's just if you do the approach correctly and learn and take the time to learn the aircraft, you can absolutely just do it.
Now, how about slips? I mean, is this something that have you tried? Well, you have to if you're hitting a crosswind.
I have done them. I tried doing them in my one of my simulator during when I started this job, and I was very abruptly told to not slip this aircraft. By the director of training, like, stop slipping the aircraft. You don't do that. I'm like, okay, sorry. But I think that's more for passenger comfort than anything else, to be honest.
Yeah. Like, again, trying to land this in a crosswind, different kettle of fish to what we're used to in flight sim, right?
Well, yeah, but like it's not. Again, you don't treat the way that we treat it. We don't treat it like a GA plane, right? We don't treat it like you put in your crosswind correction on a 2-mile final and you got to hold it the entire way. You can do this like an airliner. Keep the nose pointed into the wind. Just keep your track going. Then at the last minute, kick the boot in, put the aileron in, touch the wheels down, and call it good.
It should
You know,
behave then, yeah.
and even with the interconnect, you can do the opposite uh, aileron and rudder, and it'll be fine.
Nice, okay. What has been like, or has there ever been, with this aircraft particularly, right? Has there ever been a situation where, you know, everything seems to be going fine, or you know that it utter skill is required by the pilot to get the aircraft down where you need it? And I don't mean like taking risks or whatever. I just mean a very challenging environment. Like, does the PC-12 give you as the pilot confidence to kind of take on a challenging approach, or is it something that, you know, you get to learn the envelope of the airplane really, really quick, and you know its limits early on?
I mean, I've done absolute horrid thing, like going into Martha's Vineyard this past year. I think one of the days I had a screenshot of it somewhere. Like the wind was like a right quartering headwind, slightly at like gusting 35.
Okay.
Luckily I didn't have any passengers on, but that was a real pucker factor moment, getting close to the ground and then getting pushed sideways.
Yeah.
But you know, knowing that I have 1200 shaft horsepower in front of me just to put in the power and get me back where I need to, like, this aircraft absolutely, you have the tools to do what you need to in this aircraft. And the cool thing about it is this thing is built like a freaking tank, dude. It doesn't have a turbulence penetration speed. You know why? Because it's that freaking strong.
That's crazy. So you're hitting turbulence, you don't have to slow this puppy down. Like, now, in
You
saying
don't
that,
have to. You don't have to, but we try to be below 200 knots when we hit turbulence.
yeah, because like you have your do not exceed is what, 255? Or no, sorry,
No,
238. 238. Sorry, yeah,
I think that's what it is. Yeah, but yeah, it's you can use the maneuvering speed depending on your weight, sure, but yeah, there's no turbulent penetration speed for this aircraft.
It's awesome, dude. It's absolutely awesome, and it flies so well. Right, so the lighting conditions I have, it's quite messy. We're at 130 knots now, so we're pretty much good for flaps 15 on our approach.
You want to do a flaps 15 landing? Sure.
Yeah. Inertial separator is already on. We're going to maintain speed. Your ideal approach speed is what, around 90?
For flaps 15, it's 120.
What? That fast?
Yeah. But we only use flaps 15 for like instrument approaches, or if ATC is like, hey, you need to keep this going. Like,
yeah.
Yeah. So once you get closer to the airport, you can absolutely cross over you want to cross over the threshold at idle and be roughly around probably 90 knots when you're crossing over the threshold. So,
okay,
I believe in you.
Thanks very much, baby grand. So
just make sure you turn off your yaw damp before landing, because it'll fight you.
Oh yeah, good call. That's another thing. Yeah. So with some aircraft, the yaw dampener will automatically disengage once the senses movement on the flaps. On some aircraft.
Yep, it does not do this. The PC-12 will not. It'll fly you up to space and not care. It'll fly you into the ground and not care if you're not paying attention.
So what you're watching for, I mean, you're going to have your checklist, right? Your before landing approach and all this sort of jazz.
Yep.
But the main things outside of your visual guidance on a clear day or your instruments on a not so clear day, what are the main things you're focusing on at the critical points of landing? As in, okay, roughly now we're 1,600 feet. Our speed is about 135. Haven't dropped the gear just yet. We'd now just dropped the gear. So we're going to land. That's what we're doing. Like, what's the major things you're looking for? Because if something's going to go wrong, now is the time. You don't want it to go wrong.
Right. So main thing I'm really looking for is make sure my trims are where I want them. So your rudder trim should be just left of the green. And I mean just left of it, but not quite to the first white mark. And your stab trim should be pointed up a teeny bit. Like in the green is fine. But you're going to fight the yoke until you start losing that energy. Right. So at this point, you could start slowing down, because I think you're all white. I think is what it shows.
We're nearly there. We got one red.
Okay, that's fine. And then, you can start slowing down and get closer to that 100 mark. Since it's VFR, there's no traffic. You can just start slowing down, but just remember, you're only flaps 15, so your stall speed's going to be higher.
Yeah. Okay, we're looking good so far. So once we have main contact on the main gear, it's going to be into reverse. And this thing really, considering you fly it in St. Bart's, I mean, this thing does have short takeoff and landing capabilities. It's pretty good, in fact.
Oh yeah, I've stopped this plane in less than 700 feet.
700 feet, man. That's nuts. Okay, let's see what
Yep.
happens here. Gently does it now. You know, this is where the lack of the rudder input, it just kind of feels awesome and weird and cool. So go down, you devil.
Just make sure you, yeah, just hold it. She'll sink. You got plenty of runway.
Look at this. Look at, I haven't touched the brakes yet. That's all just from the reverser.
And then you got the yaw. Yep, the yaw from the reverse.
It's like instant.
Yep.
Now I did get
It
a
does
warning.
not mess about.
I did get a little warning there for the prop pitch. So is that
yeah?
pilot error, or?
So what happened was you hit and you bounced and you probably put it in reverse on the first bounce, so you weren't actually on the ground when you put it in reverse.
Right. That would never happen. Surely that didn't happen. But yeah, that's what happened. That's
Hey,
cool
you know
they picked
what?
it up.
You're 2/3 the way to your night currency. Okay, you're good. Except for it's not night, so it's not even going to be a night currency.
No. Well, it's evening time. Well, it could be nighttime in Ireland. Like, I mean, it looks like this at nighttime. We're in a very weird place. That's so cool. Now, at what stage then do you go back into flight idle? Is it pretty much, or ground idle, beg your pardon? Like, is it literally?
Yeah, you can do
on the
it.
ground?
Yeah, you can do it. Absolutely. That's how we do it because we want to slow the engine down. We want to use the slower RPM to help slow us down.
Gotcha. Okay. It handles so much differently than what I'm used to. As you said, it's very similar to an airliner. Keep the nose where you want it, and if you need to kick it in at the last minute. Which is so alien when you're flying kind of these smaller aircraft. I mean, you can literally land sideways and some of the other stuff. Yeah, it's pretty cool. I like that.
She's a good plane. She'll treat you well.
Mm-hmm. It's an absolute stunner, this thing. It's so, like, I don't know what it is. There's so many different options for this kind of range of aircraft now, and I just love the fact that each of them bring with them their own characteristics. I mean, that's what we're after as flight simmers. That's what we need. You don't want the same plane. It just looks different, but it flies the same. You need something that has the character, right? This has the character because it handles so differently than any other aircraft close to it. You know, the M500 has its character because, well, there's so many features in that aircraft. And then something like a TPM or the A2A, I mean, they're all so unique, I suppose. That's what I'm trying to get at.
Yeah, I mean, we've had people lately telling us that this plane's too hard to fly, and it doesn't seem realistic. And some of those people obviously don't have time flying, but it's just like, well, it's a simulation. You know, the point is to be as close to the real thing as possible. That's the whole point of you doing this, you know? So that's kind of like been my thing lately is it's a simulation. You want the real plane, we delivered the real plane.
Mm-hmm. And that's what I love about it, because you got to learn it. I mean, if you want to fly this airplane, you got to learn it. You got to get used to it. And you're never going to learn an airplane flying it in, you know, blue sky, calm conditions. I mean, give yourself a bit of a challenge. Throw this thing up when you shouldn't in mad weather, because that's how I learn planes fairly quick. You get to do the things that shouldn't. Right, okay, so from a shutdown perspective, all right, so taxi lights are off, our strobes are already off, inertial separator, of course, is on. We turned it on before we landed, and we're in ground idle. So, you know, are you waiting for something to happen, or, you know, is there anything in particular you're monitoring before you say, okay, we're now good to shut off the engine, or is it purely to do with, no, shut it off, save fuel?
No, it's simply, you know, it's parking brake set, ECS off.
Mm-hmm.
Then you're looking up, you're doing avionics 2 and 1, generator 2, 1, ITT stable, condition lever cut off. So, and I tell people this because we don't have failures yet, but just to get in the habit, please make sure you shut Gen 2 off first. Please shut off Gen 2 first.
And what would
because
are you liable to blow something?
Yeah, also Gen 1 is your starter motor. 2, it's what powers most of the aircraft. It is a 300, I think it's a 300 amp generator that can be over amped to 450 for 2 minutes, right? Well, unfortunately, Gen 2 is not that. Gen 2 is simply 115 amps and that's it.
Okay. Okay.
And if you were to lose Gen 1, now you have the whole electrical load going on that one gen that can only be at 115 amps. And it's just not great.
I
You're
love that.
frantically pulling circuit breakers. You're frantically trying to shut stuff off you don't need. Like, yeah, it's not a great time.
So tell me, just before we kind of end this, right? When it comes to your simulation training, I mean, you undergo that. Is it twice a year, once a year,
Once a year.
once a year?
I
Like, I
actually
mean,
have it coming up in the beginning of January.
nice. Like that's where you have to put this aircraft into situations you just can't practice in the real world for obvious reasons, right? And you know, if you practice on a PC-12, is there anything you've done in the simulation that has made you go, oh holy crap, that can't happen in the real life, otherwise, you know, we're dead? Or have you found something in a simulation that you've brought back into the real world flying?
Um, I mean, one of the major things that uh kind of terrified me, and I mean literally I was like horrified, is one of the sim sessions I had. Um, you the pusher has limitations, right? The
Mhm.
pusher test is when it's on the ground, it's inhibited. It's inhibited for 5 seconds after weight on wheels is off. So once you lift off the ground, weight on wheels senses the plane's off the ground. You have a 5 second timer to when
Mhm.
the pusher can actually do its thing.
Mhm.
She did that to me 5 seconds after takeoff, and my dumbass tried pulling the yoke back during an inadvertent pusher, and it didn't go well.
Oh dear.
Yeah, so now I take off with my finger over the pusher interrupt because I'm waiting, like unfortunately waiting for it to do it. Um, Not saying it's possible or the fact that it would do it, but you when you're 5 seconds off the ground, you're not very high, and you're already traveling over 100 knots.
Nice.
So if it was to push the nose straight down, you don't have a lot of time to react.
That was I reckon you invented a couple of new choice words when that happened.
I I literally, when the screen went red, I just turned around and she's like, "You look like the saddest puppy in the world."
Oh
I was
no.
so depressed because I told myself I would never get a red screen during this, and I got a freaking red
Oh
screen.
no. But sure, come here. That's what it's all about, though. And like, and hats off to simulators, right? I mean, that's be you're using this for entertainment or you're using it to aid you in your real world flying, because it can do both. That's result, right? I mean, that's what they're for. Um, yeah, man. It's I can only imagine the crack you get up to in a sim. Like, if you're there with other pilots, like, do you try and give yourself like the impossible tasks?
Oh yeah, like if we have extra time, we mess around and we have the instructor just give us the most impossible things. Um, like and we also, buzz under the St. Louis Arch sometimes. We do like just go underneath the Golden Gate Bridge at like 200 knots. Like we just do the goofiest stuff. If we get extra time. Um, but yeah, it's fantastic.
That's absolutely brilliant. Well, Captain Gaiman, thank you so very, very much for taking so much time out of your schedule to just kind of introduce us to this PC-12. It's to get the perspective of a real world pilot. Who operates this very airplane. It's that's huge. I've learned a ton of stuff from you flying this airplane that I'll now, apply that to when I fly the airplane. I'm sure a lot of the guys watching as well, you've all done the same. So this shall not be the end. Something tells me we're going to have you back soon, because we're going to have to do something with this, And but huge thanks to you, my guy, for taking all the time out. Like, I don't feel too bad because you are in a tropical paradise and I'm in Ireland, but you know what I mean? I appreciate your time,
Well, I'll see you at Flight Sim Expo. So,
Yes. There will be a beer with your name
I
on it.
oh God, I don't even want to think about alcohol after last night. So, no, like, I appreciate doing this, and I absolutely love like coming and talking about this. And like, if people want to go like head over heels with procedures, I'm your guy for that. Like, I will go letter by letter and do this, and I absolutely love doing that. Uh, and obviously, I like seeing all the comments. I read everything you guys say. So why is work texting me? I already, oh, my work, I swear to God. So
You got the bill for last
yeah,
night.
sorry. No, but I'm excited, and if you guys are ever on the SABS Discord, I usually post what tail number I'm in for the day, so you guys can watch me bounce back and forth between St. Bart's and where am I? San Juan. Um,
Nice.
so tomorrow will be an interesting day for sure.
I'm driving. It's not raining now. That's the only thing, and it's cold here. But
Hey, that's good for you.
yeah,
Good, it's not raining.
It's not raining. It's not raining. But yeah, no, awesome, dude. Thank you very, very much indeed. A couple of questions coming out there for checklists and stuff. There is stuff included with the
Of course.
aircraft. So yeah,
Yeah, so the checklist that's actually in the sim is the one from my checklist. And the checklist that we provide is my checklist just recolorized.
Mhm.
We fixed it. One of the guys, some reason, copied the before start and put it in the after takeoff. I don't know how that happened, but we got that fixed, and we're rewriting the manual now too. So and I have provided some documentation of flows. So the new manual will have tips, tricks, and flows of what actual 135 operators do.
Oh, nice. Is there anything you can't do? Now, actually, here's one for you now, right? Before we let you go, during the testing phases of this, be honest now, how many times did you crash it or break it?
Lots. Yeah, or I would get the text from Alex at like 3 o'clock in the morning because he's so far ahead of me. He'd be like, "You want the good news or bad news?" I'm like, "I want to sleep."
When do I get to sleep? Brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. Well, Captain Gaming, thank you so very, very much indeed for all your support over the last couple of weeks. It was so much fun. And we'll have to do this again sometime for sure. So
Hey, you can always message me.
100%. You enjoy your day now.
Can I get a refund?
Go for a walk. Plenty of water, and you'll be right as rain tomorrow for your nice flights. You're up early, I think, aren't you?
Oh yeah, I got to be up at the 4:45 tomorrow for a 5:45 show for a 6:45 flight.
Ouch. Well, that's not too
Yep.
bad. I get up at that time. Now I don't function.
The nice thing about tomorrow is I get to stay the night in St. Bart's tomorrow night. So
It's a hard out station. I keep saying that it's a tough life, pilot's life.
it is.
Tough
It
life.
is. It's so rough to just sit on a French beach with proper baguette sandwich, and it's so hard.
Awesome. Well, listen, we will talk to you soon, my guy. Thank you very, very much indeed.
All right, thank you.
Sweet. All right, lads. Captain Gaming. Can we get some pints of Guinness and moats into the chat for Captain Gaming? What a fantastic, just a fantastic experience over the last couple of weeks. Getting his perspective on how everything works, and not only how everything works in relation to the SWS PC-12, which is fantastic. Getting feedback from a real world PC-12 pilot who went from 0 to CFI in 5.5 months. Like flight simming, hey, I'm going to do this for real. 5.5 months, and now he gets to fly these things in and out of the Caribbean. It's like, what? That's incredible stuff. Absolutely incredible stuff. So a huge thanks there. We're going to continue on because we have two things to show you as I move things around on my sim. So next up, we're going to be looking at a new airplane. This is released from Ants Airplanes, and well, we're going to be checking it out. And I also want to delve a little bit deeper into the British Isles mesh from Orbx. So what we're going to do, we're going to look at a couple of different locations if we can within the sim, because I'm going to use the power of flow brought to us by Parallel 42 to be able to kind of bounce around a couple of different regions. So I'm going to ask you guys, let me know in the chat, where should we go exploring? I'm going to start off in Ireland, somewhere out by the west coast. But if you let me know somewhere around the British Isles that you'd like to see in terms of how good the mesh is in comparison to the default, well, let us know here. And I can use flow and we'll just kind of warp in there. Do you know what I mean? Something like that, right? So, right, let's see now. I'll have to go back over here now. Someone needs to come up with an idea. I had to put stickers on my microphone so I know what's happening. Because I have to, I have to turn the microphone because it's one of those omnidirectional, One Direction. Wait, they were the band, weren't they? Anyway, right, so let me see. CAC, There it is! Commonwealth Aircraft Corporation. Great bunch of lads. And we should be in Australia doing this, but as I said, we're going to start off somewhere out in the west of Ireland. And to do this, we want to pick somewhere kind of fancy. So I'm going to go over to here to Crossmolina Airs. No, I'm not. I'm going to go somewhere kind of... where have we got nice... Oh yeah, up here, you devil. Is it Belmullet? No. Hang on. Oh, sorry, I want to go to Kerry. What am I talking about, lads? I want to go down by Kerry. Because I want to check out the mountains below in Kerry, right? Now, I have not flown this airplane at all. I haven't even turned this... It hasn't been turned on, lads, right? Haven't gone near the thing. So we need to check this one out here now in a moment. So let's see what happens. So, information about this aircraft. Hang on, we get it up here now for you. So it's the CAC, or the Commonwealth Aircraft Company, and it's known as the Winjeel. The Winjeel, an interesting name, right? So let's have an old gawk about it. So, look at all those pints of Guinness. So the CAC-25 Winjeel, an Australian-designed and manufactured 3-seater aircraft. You might be saying, Murph, why would they put in 3 seats? Well, that was a requirement from the RAF. Anyway, in 1955, it's a basic to advanced trainer. It served the role up until 1975, and it was later used in the Forward Air Control, or the FAC, for target marking all the way up until 1994, when it was retired from the Royal Australian Air Force. The Winjeel, from a Victorian indigenous word for young eagle, an alternate spelling is the Bunjil, was developed by Commonwealth Aircraft Corporation at Fisherman's Bend in Victoria to satisfy the Royal Australian Air Force Technical Requirements Number AC-77, issued all the way back in 1948. Designed to replace both the Tiger Moth and the Waraway, the first 2 prototype aircraft were flown in February 1951. However, it proved a very stable aircraft, making it almost impossible to spin. With this being a required part of pilot training, the tail had to be redesigned as a result. 62 production CA-25 aircraft were subsequently built and given the fleet serials A85401 to A85462. Interesting. So it looks very familiar. I don't know if you know your aircraft. I think it's called the Provost. Now, not the jet, but wasn't there there is an airplane. There was a fixed wing airplane. I'll show you it now, right? I think it's called the Provost. I could be wrong now because I remember the Air Corps flying them, but I want to show you, right? Just have a look at the way the canopy is on the nose, right? So if I look at the Provost, Irish Air Corps Provost. Here we go. A Percival Provost. Did you ever hear that? Percival Provost. Did you ever hear the Percival Provost? I'll show you. So here it is, a Percival Provost. You might say, Murph, that looks terribly, terribly familiar. Well, it is terribly, terribly familiar, right? Later, because this, where's it now? Henry Milser later moved to Australia, where he designed the Air Tour Light. You can kind of see where this kind of goes from. It used a Hawker Siddeley engine, but that's it there, operational Provost. So that's when I saw this airplane, I was like, hey, that looks like the Provost, right? Yeah, it's like a character, yeah. So that's what the Provost looks like, and how I know that is, well, the Irish Air Corps operated these. They flew in them, right? And there's actually one in Baldonnel restored, not to flying, but she's a static model. But you can kind of see the layout. This is a little bit kind of more condensed, if you like, but they're very, very similar indeed, right? So what we have here from Ant's Aeroplanes, well, friends, let's start off at the very beginning because we want to have a look at the owl. Well, the state of it, right? The state of it. So let's go in and have a closer look and see how it all works, shall we? As I press some buttons over here, we can keep an eye on things. So, from the exterior, and again, I want to fly this machine on Friday night, and we're going to be flying it in Australia, naturally enough. So, from the exterior, well, you can see, well, what do you think? It looks very pretty, doesn't it? I think it looks gorgeous. It's a very unique looking airplane, and would have a massive engine on the front of it there. Like, the wings almost look too small for it, don't they? But let's look at some of the closer details here. Let's get in under that landing gear. And this is a relatively cheap airplane. This was like 17 or 18 bucks. This ain't bad at all, right? It ain't bad at all. Now, crew of 2. There was provision for a third seat. Maximum speed, are you ready? 160 knots. She cruised at about 140 knots. 3.5 hours endurance. Service ceiling of 18,000 feet. And rate of climb would be about 10... rate of climb is around 1,500 feet per minute. Right? Have a look at the Mac Loop. Oh, good idea, good idea. Canopy looks like Scrundle Down Zero. Yeah, it does, doesn't it? Look at the detail here, though. Isn't it pretty? A lot of detail has gone in here. Do not jack. Fair enough. Look at this. The battery hoist door. Look at that. Check out the engine. Look at the state. Look at the state of that. Isn't that gorgeous? Man alive. Just, you gotta love the old vintage stuff. That looks really, really nice. So texture work is on point here as well. The model work is spot on, right? Texture work is very good as well. It ain't going to be clean. And it's a beautiful livery here from the Royal Australian Air Force, isn't it? Colours and everything else. Man, it's gorgeous. Beautiful little plane, this. 'Tis gorgeous. Yeah, yeah. If you love Ant's Tiger Moth, you're going to love this. This isn't bad. Okay, so some of the custom views. Yes, we have some wing views. Very nice. Undercarriage views. Canopy. Look at the size of the canopy, look. These are all custom views. This is where developers kind of, like, if they go to this extreme, this usually tells me they've put a ridiculous amount of thought into the aircraft. When you have all these sort of custom views set up, right? Right, let's jump in and start having a look around here. So we have this tablet EFB thingy here, right? So we have a couple of options. We can turn on or off the pilot type. Here's the Royal Australian Air Force pilot. G'day, mate. Going flying here. Or flaming, Alf Stewart. Or we can just put in Microsoft Flight Sim 1, in which a Murph will appear. That's kind of cool. Pilot ears? Pilot ears? Is that right? Show the pilot's ears? Really? Weird. Passengers, GPS show or hide. So it's a little Air 500. That's kind of nice. Canopy closed or open, left window, right window, windshield. Dirty or clean. Nice, nice. Persistent oil and fuel, why not? Panel vibration, sure. Mixture lever, default. What are our options? Continuous or default? Continuous or default? Keep it in default. External engine sound, that's kind of nice. We can turn that on or off. Engine start, they're all okay. Next page, exterior preferences. Wheel chocks are set. And it removes the pilot and we can see our wheel chocks there. Nice. Aileron trim, nice. Engine door, left, right, top, bottom, battery door, oil cap. Jesus, look at the amount of stuff here, lads. Look at the amount of options. There are options for the options. I like this. Oh, look, we even got a small little fuel gadget in the gadget, look. 69 imperial gallons. Damn it, Jamie's down to the sun. That's very good, isn't it? Does someone spill green paint over the floor? Over the floor? Underneath? Yeah. It's nice, though. It is nice. That's so cool. Fuel hose, hide, close. And we have sounds for all this as well, look. Engine start. Realism. Click to quick, or click for quick engine start. Okay, parking brakes, master battery, parking brakes on. Master battery, mags, booster, primer. There's a fair bit here, isn't there? Autopilot. Radios. Cockpit preferences. That's pretty cool. We've got a lot of options here. All right, okay. Now, having never flown this airplane before, let's see what we can do. So let's get a bit of cockpit familiarization. So we do have some electrical stuff here. Very good, very good. Instrument fuses. Can't do anything with those. Windshield demister. Nice. Generator control box. I like that. That's lights. We got some lights up there. Very nice indeed. Fire warning. Probably need the battery on for that. Nav lights are here. Magnetos are here. Okay. Harness release. Tow brakes. Very good. More lights. Taxi lights. Engine controls, prop, the whole shebang is there. Very good. Textures are a little bit kind of rough in here. Look, see that? A little bit kind of yesteryear, maybe. The PC-12 is from SWS. Hey, 777 is here. Good to see you. Wombat, hide your wallet. Say nothing. What do you think of this, lad, so far? Right, open the window. Oh, it's a drag. Nice. So you have to drag it. Click and hold and drag, yeah? Nice, okay. What do we have up here then? Can we do one up here now? There's no blinds we can put in. That's okay. Jesus, look at the third seat back there. God almighty, if there was ever the Annalisa chair. Do you know what I mean? Wouldn't she be just happy out? Wouldn't Annalisa be as happy now? Happy out.
I'm in a glass case of emotion.
Thank you, Adam. That scared the crap out of me. Right, what else is back here now? Gyro instrumentation. All looking good, all looking good. Fire extinguishers. There's a decent bit of stuff here. All right, okay, so we're looking for a battery master switch. So we do have rudder trim, canopy emergency release. Let's not press that one. Throttle. What does that button do? Flaps, fuel control, lock. Okay. Harness release. Now we're looking for the battery. Battery switch, Murph. Ground or flight. Ooh, what's that for? Fire warning. So there are lights, nav lights, mags. Emergency. What's that? Emergency lights. Generator, gyro. Fuel boost. So I'm looking for the battery master switch. Now, if you were a battery master switch, where would you live? The good thing about all of this is, lads, well, it comes with a manual, a POH, and why can't I find that file? If I go into the aircraft, hang on. Let's go into the aircraft file. Let's have a look. Where did I put it? Are we in stream or are we in general aviation? I'd say we're in general aviation. And we're Ants Drifter, Winjeel. Here we go. Documentation, handbook. Check out the handbook, lads. Look at this. We have 55 pages of it. 55 pages. You gotta love it, right? Look at all this. Things you need to know. Once the aircraft has been installed, tablet and GPS, mixture level, 4 preset positions. Okay. Realism settings. Okay. Tail wheel, gyro instrument, engine start, auto start, master battery. Easy mode, you don't need to worry about priming the engine. All right. Medium mode, and then hard mode. You gotta love that, right? Right, what else do we have? So cockpit, we're looking for the battery, airspeed, G meter, altimeter, this is grand. And we see battery. Switches from left to right, generator, animator. Jeez, I don't see a switch to the battery. Oh look, there's different, you have a vintage or a modern layout look. Like that. There's some nice options. Key commands. Okay, ground or flight master switch. Okay. So the battery is probably connected externally. Okay. How do we get our tablet back? If I was a tablet, where would I live? Oh, Jesus. Where did they hide the tablet? Circuit breakers. I'm sure we can just do battery. What's my battery? Is it Alt B? There we go. Ah, look, here we go. So ground or flight. Interesting. All right. Fuel. So mixture to auto rich. Open the throttle. Park and brake is on. Primer. Oh, there's the tablet in there, look. It's okay, I found the tablet, lads. It lives in there. Bit of priming action, yes, yes, yes. Now, in terms of a starter switch. In terms of a starter switch. Screen wiper, get out of town. Flight controls, lock or unlock. They're locked. They're unlocked. Hey, that works as well. Nice. Guys, we've got a whole load of stuff working here. This is brilliant, isn't it? Now, let me see. So if we want to do a start, let's go back into our little menu. Engine start, engine start. Let's have a quick look. Ground flight, canopy landing lights, that's all fine, that's all fine. Generator, emergency switches, generator, engine primer, yes. Engine starter, number 34. Gotcha. Clear prop. Oh, Jesus, the sounds of this, lads.
Surely you can't be serious.
I am serious. And don't call me Shirley.
This sounds nice. Hang on a second. Alright, it sounds really good. It really does sound good. Okay, so what else do we need to do? Why isn't it turning on? Gens, right? Booster pump off. Emergency lights. Jeez, you got a ton of light in here. Instrument fuses. I don't see an avionics switch, so we've... Pick up our tablet. Help us out here.
Can I get a refund?
No! Let's see here now. Windows. Close the window. Oh, look, the canopy opens. Look at that. Ah, beautiful. Ah, that's decent, isn't it? Right, close that. Get all our little windows closed. Good sounds. Exteriors no, so engine start. So let's have a look here. Parking brakes, massive battery on. Yes. Booster pump, starter, throttle primer, carb, engine primer. That looks good to me. Autopilot. Autopilot master. Radios. Alright, okay. This is pretty nice. Okay, parking brake coming off. Let's see what we can do here. Ooh, she turns like an absolute machine altogether. Get around the corner there now. So, landing lights. All our lights are on. So let's have a look at the night lighting as we're taxiing here. Oh, that's pretty. That is pretty. Look at the glow, lads. Isn't that stunning? I love the dials, the way they're lit up. Radio controls. Emergency lighting. That's pretty bright. Landing lights. Wow, look at that colour. Isn't that stunning? That's beautiful, man. Right. Why not this way now? Lots of flaps. Great sounds, lads. What about my windscreen wipers? Ah, would you look at the cut of it? Will they actually get rain off the windscreen? For that is a big question. No. Some developers have managed to get rain off the windscreen, but unfortunately, not for this airplane just yet. Okay, get ourselves lined up here. Mixture, fully rich. Turn off the wipers, you're wasting electricity. Jesus. There we go. Okay. Let's see what happens here, friends. Power coming in. Whoa! There's 60 knots. Oopsie daisy. It's beautiful. This is beautiful. It's so it's basically a very heavy chipmunk for those of you who know the chipmunk, right? I mean that's kind of the same era, the same sort of flight, right? This is real pretty. What do you think, lads? Is this the sort of airplane that's up your neck of the woods? Would you like to fly something like this? It's so fluid. It's beautiful to fly. Look at that big landing light down there. Let's see if we can get rid of that guy. Yep. He goes in. So when they originally built the airplane, it was too stable. So let's see how unstable they've made it. So, right, let's see what we can do here. Let's try a bit of rudder input. Nice. Nice. This is nice.
Hello there.
Prop back, prop in. Shake hard, thank you indeed for the follow. Thank you very much. Right, let's see what we can do here. So I want to head out. We're checking out. We're doing two things at once here. I'm multitasking. Get the sun out of our eyes here for the minute. Damn it, Jamie's down in the sun. So we're heading out to check out the mesh here, lads. This is down in Kerry, down near Killarney, right? Old veteran is a Faulty Towers fan. I have the soup. Sybil. Manuel, take these trays to room 3. Okay? Take these trays. No, signor. Unos, dos, tres. Sybil! This is very pretty, isn't it? Look at the cut of this. Brighten up your day a bit. There you go. Look at this now, lads. Thank you very much for the follow. Don't mention the war. Well, you started it. Right, so we're heading out here to check out some mesh. Look at this plane. Right, let's see how she behaves, right? So look at this big E just... Who said that? Shut up, you. Right, get her into now stall there, Jemima, and let's see what happens, right? Look at the shake. Look at the shake. She's stable. Okay. Can we do a spin, lads? Okay, let's see, can we do a spin? Hold the nose. She can do a spin. Nice. Right, Murphy, pull out of it. Pull out of it, will you? Later that day. This is great. You can proper spin the thing. I love it. Okay, let's head out towards the lakes. Ladies' view is what I'm after, lads, right? Okay. It's very nice. If Murph was in the emu war, he would eliminate the emus with his ability to read everything. Ah, Jesus, Viper. God almighty. I've just been vipered. Please try to understand before one of us dies. Oh, yeah. Hey, Sandy is here. Good to see you. Ant's airplanes have great freeware, drift or ultralight. Yeah, it's awesome. Can we see the mesh in Leitrim? Don't be ridiculous. There's no such place as Leitrim. Not for me, but it looks and sounds excellent, says Dougal. Yeah, like, I mean, that's the thing, right? So, one of my favourite kind of vintage airplanes is the de Havilland Chipmunk. I'll absolutely love that plane. And it's gas, because, like, there's a picture of my granddad, there's a picture of my dad, and then there's a picture of me, all at the same aircraft. Not at the same time. I never met my granddad. I saw pictures of him, though. And sure, if he's a Murphy, he was half mad, do you know? But I absolutely love the Chipmunk. This, though, as it's so close to the Provost, and it handles so well, lads, and as an Australian airplane, Australia, you know what I'm, right? I love that. This thing is oozing of character. Oozing of character. It looks great, it sounds great, it flies great, and there is a ton of functionality with it. This is brilliant. And this is before I even go really messing with the thing. It's just a nice plane. Engine cuts out. It doesn't like being inverted. Whoop, you devil. And then the engine recovers. How cool is that? Great work here by Ant's Airplanes. So, can I fly a 737 NGX? Not tonight. The NGX, it's only the NG I think that's released so far. But not tonight, but we will soon, my dude, we will soon. Redeemed camera back in me head for 100 points. Really? You want the back in me head camera for 100 points? There's the back in me head camera for 100 points. Don't act like you're not... Don't look at me head now, whatever you do. Right? But in terms of how it handles, this is really nice. So we're here to check out the mesh, lads. We're here checking out the mesh, right? Look at the gleam on that. What are you talking about? And then we have the shelf of many things behind me head. Jesus, don't... God almighty, is that what my head looks like? Ah, Jesus. Yeah, it's all nice back there, look. Just don't look at me head. God almighty, Dougal. Right, so let's go exploring. Shh. So we're here in Kerry, and we want to check out what the new mesh is doing. It's actually quite good, funny enough. It is quite good. So we'll wrap it up this way, right? Oh yeah, it's way more defined here. It's way more defined up this neck of the woods. So we will go to other locations because I know you guys are mad to see some different terrain. Here's something interesting though. Look, there's a texture issue. Look at the like, just to kind of, it's hard for you to see it, but like the terrain improvements with this mesh. Like these mountains now are like, they're so pronounced. Look. That is pretty good. That's pretty good, right? That is pretty good. Do you know the update for the 172 or the 152? It has a GTN 750. I'm not sure, Lumega. You have a fine head, Murph. I'm well, Gel. Thanks, Hemmingbird. Time for the Santa hat to return. Ah, Jesus, is that bad? Right, so that's Kerry. Right, where are we going next? The mountains do look alive. Speaking, hang on, we'll go up to we're gonna head up somewhere else here now briefly, right? We'll check out a couple of places. Oh, shy. We'll pick. You have to turn it on and off. What are we looking for? Nav. Portal. Yes. So we'll pick out a couple of places, right? Go over there. Heading up to Donegal here now, right? Ladies View, nicest place to ring, hands down. But shh, Murph, don't tell anyone in Kerry I said that. 100% Gabe, say nothing. Don't mind the lads from Kerry. Kerry is the kingdom. Ladies View is spectacular. It's around the ring of Kerry. Stunning. Right, so here we find ourselves in the lands and hills. Look at the state. Donegal, right? And we're going to be looking at Mount Errigal, which is there in the background. And let's see what it's done to Mount Errigal. So that's Donegal International Airport. Voted the most scenic approach in the world, funny enough. So far, this looks about the same. So far. Now, this is purely a fact-finding mission to see, well, what's good or what's not good in the sim, right? But so far, this looks good. So, Donegal up around Glenveigh National Park. That's Mount Errigal. That's the second tallest mountain in Ireland. That doesn't seem to have gotten any real update, to be fair. Which means that Microsoft have decent mesh already for this area. Which would make sense, right? Because, I mean, they only updated this airport a couple of weeks back. Here is definitely upgraded. So the mesh around it looks a good bit better, look. But as for Errigal itself, it's about the same. What do you guys think looking at it? It's a hill at best. Husker Du, I was up that divil. It is no hill, I can tell you. When you're about halfway up, you realise it's no longer a hill because you hear this very strange sound. And you realise it's you. Oh no! Again, like, there's parts of this that look... that's better, definitely. That's way more... there's more going on here. Do you know? Oh yeah, look at that. This is Glenveigh itself. I once walked out to that lake from up there. Oh wait, or was it that lake? No, it was this lake. It was the Southern Lake. Jeez, that's very nice, isn't it? Right, there's another place I want to check out. Briefly. Don't crash, Murphy. I want to go down to Blessington. Chase, there's all the lads flying. I want to kind of go out Blessington neck of the woods, right? Oh, look at that. The sim is going to have a moment. And if I just kind of ramble in here. Because County Wicklow is it's beautiful in the real world, right? But in the sim, it was always a little bit kind of, do you know what I mean? Hey, Awfully Man is here. He says, how are you, Murph? Hope you're well from me and Janine. Hello, Awfully Man and Janine. Great to see you. Jesus, we're upside down. Alright, okay, so this be Blessington. Those are the Blessington Lakes. And I know these mountains relatively well, especially Table Mountain. They look a bit better, don't they? Like, it's not going to be night or day. I don't think any of the meshes aren't going to be night or day. They're just subtle differences. Things will appear a little bit higher. You know what I mean? Mount Errigal in Ireland tends... Oh, no, sorry. Mount Errigal is Ireland's most treacherous mountain because of the rapid change in weather. I'd well believe it. I lost my ring in the Donegal. It fell down the U-bend space. Hang on, that'll register in my head now in a second. I think Janine gets slightly turned on with your accent. It's like this, right? Awfully Man. I'm years perfecting this accent. Have a closer listen. Hello. Right, do you know what I mean? It's all a hilarious crack. Anyway, look at the cut of this. This is better. We're down by Blessington, lads. And you see where we're flying to now? This marvel of modern technology. Basically, they built an artificial lake up in a hill. And they run it down a hill into like a hydroelectric station down here. And it gives us electricity. That's man-made, lads. Man has made that. It's genius. Renewable, completely renewable. It rains, it fills up, it goes down the little channel here, and we create electricity. 2 dogs! Welcome in. Is that Lake Egypt? No, it's not Lake Egypt. That there is a marvel of world technology. Just, the Irish invented electricity. Didn't I tell you that before? Of course, electricity invented in 7477 BC. It was a fella called Trailoch Sweeney McGinty. But this is a real part of the world. That's a power station. It's quite unique. It's a lake that filters down, and that's where we get some of our electricity. This is a lot better, because that wasn't as prominent the last time. This is actually quite good. This is quite good. Right, let's go somewhere else. Will we go to where do we want to go? The Mac Loop, wasn't it? Where's the balls? Is it this way? We go in there now. Aye. We'll ramble across the channel and go in here. Now, where are we at? Electricity was invented in Ireland. It was. Murphy, what do you do for a living? As little as possible for as long as possible. I manage the operations of a logistics company. Well, I say I manage. I can hardly manage myself. I work in transport. Oh, Jesus. I work in transport, but I drive the desk. Right now, is this the Mac Loop? It is. It is. Is it? Did I come in the wrong way? Oh, no, it didn't. I came in the right way. Right, hang on a second. We're doing a thing, lads. We're doing a thing. Right, get yourself straightened up here, Murph. Right, let's go in and explore. Can you remember the Mac Loop? We have to come in this way. Then, oh, Jesus, this is better. Look, this is better. Look at the height of the mountains there. Look how high the mountain is there. Want it this way, and then we kind of have to go up this way. And we look for the entrance over here. Is it here or is it over there? It's over here. Oh yeah, Jesus, this is so much different, lads. Look. So we flew the Mac Loop a couple of weeks back, right? So come in this way. Oh yeah, sure. Look at that. Look how look like that is very, very different, isn't it? Tell me it's very different. Yes, Murphy, it is. Look, I think it is anyway, lads. Ah, it is. Sure, look at it. Look at the height of the mountains now. They were never that big. Are any of the airports affected by the... no, I didn't see any, Zythy. This is a lot better, lads. You didn't check out RD. We'll do it in a minute, Muse. Don't worry. Put on the kettle. We flew the Mac Loop not so long ago, so this should be somewhat fresh in your memory. This is pretty good, right? Yeah, you can actually see the road as well, yeah. Oh, yeah, this was nearly flat the last time. You know what I mean? Yeah, this is pretty clean. This is really, really good. This is night or day, lads. This whole area, this is relatively flat the last time. This is a huge improvement. This is a massive improvement around the Mac Loop. Asher lads, look, sure. You know, oh Jesus, imagine. Could you imagine? I won't crash, don't worry. I can see my skid marks on the hills from the last time. Brilliant. Ah, lads, this is very different, isn't it? We'll know now in a second when we go down to where the windmills are. Or the wind turbines. Look how different this is. You can actually get under the bridge there if you wanted to. You couldn't get anywhere. Was there even a bridge there the last time? I don't think so. Okay, yeah, the Mac loop, much better. Okay, where else, lads? Where else? Snowdonia, and we'll work our way back. How's that? Let's have a gawk. Let's have a gawk. By the way, how's this camera angle, lads? Is it all right? Is it okay, like? Does it impact on FPS? No, so I didn't notice any differences there at all. Okay, welcome to Snowdonia. Jesus. I once drove a van over Snowdonia. And I nearly throttled the gearbox. Oh, this is pretty, lads, isn't it? We can see you, so yeah, all good if your head wasn't in it. Yeah, thanks, lads. Oh, yeah. You know, bit of feedback from Murph. Yeah, Murph, it's great, but your head is still a mess. 100%. Ah, lads, this is pretty good as well, isn't it? You, like, look how friggin' profound it is, look. I've seen on Discord, I don't think there's any mistaking which parts of the country we're from. Definitely. Look at the cut of this. Might be worth... I'm telling you, it is. For the couple of changes already, look at the detail here, lads. Look at that detail there. That's ridiculous. Can you see that, how well that comes up? That's really good. Like, anyone familiar in this neck of the woods, Snowdonia, right? Sure, you'll know if you fly around here and you can now see what's on the screen, look. It's huge. Yeah, it looks cracking, doesn't it? The way it should be in default, well, it depends where they're getting their data from, right? I mean, because this is data-driven. Mesh, DEM, it's all data-driven. Satellites can only do so much. You need to get actual kind of numbers dialed in. And I think that's what Orbx do. Because Orbx get their data not just from satellites. Orbx kind of, they spend money and get aircraft flying over places. You often see those, what are they called? Survey airplanes? Orbx are in on that. Dougal says, right, I'm sold, but I have to steal Wombat's wallet minus empty. I think we would be expecting a lot for it to have this level of, as default. Yeah, 100%. Like, look, lads, Jesus, like, there's even if, look at the drop here. Now, is that, should that be there? Yeah, it should, look. There's a lake, like, you don't get that in the default. You don't get that in the default. So, yeah, I'm liking that. This is a huge update. Right, where to? Where to? This is fun. Nav, over here. How about Scotland? Aye, we'll go up to Scotland here. Up by Ben Nevis neck of the woods. Is that Ben Nevis? Where's Ben Nevis? And we'll do it before we smash into the ground. We'll head up to Ben Nevis here and have a look. The Lake District. Yeah, we'll do the Lake District on the way back down. Then we'll cut back across to RD. Hi. I'm having a look there. Because there was a lot of questions on Discord, wasn't there? We're all kind of saying, Jesus, is it worth it? Do you know, is it good or is it not good? You know what I'm saying? Now, I think I'm in the neck of the woods of Ben Nevis. I could be completely wrong. Ah, lads, look at the look. Can you see the detail? Can you see that detail there? Look, is that coming up on? It is. Look at the detail. We didn't have that before. That's really good. This will tell you. This will actually tell you, right? Look at the river coming down the mountain here. Can you guys now see how that's all like meshed in? Where before that would have been just flat. You know what I mean? Now Nevis is up this neck of the woods, isn't it? Or maybe I passed it. It's class, lads. It's class. Right, so Scotland is good. Let's go somewhere else. So they've included the British Isles. Don't hit the mountain, Murphy. Don't hit the mountain, Murphy. Don't hit the mountain, Murphy. In the nick of time. Down to the Lake District. Blue Stack Mountains. Ah, right, okay. Well, would an RTX 2060 show this level of detail? Oh, would Scorpio? Yeah. The outer Hebrides? Scorpio, it would. It absolutely would. Mesh doesn't take an awful lot. It takes a bit, but not an awful lot. So this is the Lake District. Now let's just get ourselves kind of, well, where are we? Jesus, look at the state of this, lads. Right, hang on. Let's just get our bearings here for a minute, right? Yeah, we're kind of right. So this be the Lake District. So. We'll have to do a side-by-side comparison. Yeah, I think so. Like, there's definitely parts that are way better. The Lake District looks kind of the same. I'm not going to lie, it looks roughly the same. Especially the entry into it. But there's no doubt, like, there's a lot more detail in the shapes of the mountains than there was before. And it's gas, right? It only takes a subtle little change to make all the difference. You know what I mean? Viper Strike. There's an Airblade green grass to be seen everywhere. Not a bit of it, Gabe. Just mad up this neck of the woods. Plenty of gorse, though. Big Al's, it's a combination of satellite and mapping. Ordnance survey stuff. It's a combination of it. Where I think what Microsoft have done, that's using satellite information. And then they get the Ordnance Survey data from the countries that they do the updates in. I think that's something along those lines. This is a beautiful part of the world as well. The Lake District, it's stunning flying around here. Isn't that pretty? Yarrett is decent now. It is decent. Right, so we want to go back up kind of RD neck of the woods for a Muse fan. Jesus, Murphy, don't crash. Up you devil you. Right, RD high. Dublin, Drogheda. A little bit left of Dundalk and Drogheda. It's in the little triangle there, Muse, isn't it? The roads are more level in this mesh. Yeah, 100%. I'll have a quick look here. What is on the ground? Now. Muse, do you want to go to the mountains up the north? Or do you want to... There's not much else down south. There's a few hills in that. We'll head up here towards kind of Newry and that. These are nice. There's Dundalk. So we'll check out... Here is really, really nice. All around Newry and that. Heading up towards Belfast. And even the mountains around Belfast. Oh yeah, the hills here are way more now pronounced. What's the word I'm looking for? I don't remember the name of the mountain up here. Not that one now, but there's a big mountain over just before Belfast. Oh yeah, look, that's all new there, look. Look at that. There's Musefan's house right there, lads. We found his secret lair. That's exactly Jesus Muse, they even have the texture right for your gaff as well, look. That's where Muse fan lives. Sometimes he comes out early morning, not wearing a stitch, playing guitar to the local people. Telling you, that's where he lives. The Mourne Mountains, yeah. That Mourne Mountains, that's them. That's pretty good. This is pretty nice, lads, I have to say.
Welcome to my secret underground.
Yeah. Ramble on up this way now. Oh yeah, sure. This is way better. Look at this, lads. This is way better. Jesus, that's way better.
Oh, behave.
Do you see, even the dam looks like it's actually a dam now, rather than just being flat. At least now there's a bit of oomph going on. See that? Usually you don't get that. You know what I mean? If you come over these, it'll show Belfast on the far side. Nearly. Right, one more place before we go. That's actually quite impressive. Bring me down the M7 there now, because I'll tell you, it's down around kind of Stradbally. Where are we now? Well, you have the Slieve Blooms there, I suppose. Portlaoise. Get us in around here, I suppose. Let's see what happens here, right? Commander Freezer, thank you very much indeed for the bits. I can confirm that is exactly what it's like. Oh, yeah. Oh, that's it. Slieve Donard, was it? Oh, was it Donard? Maybe it was. I have a feeling the cliffs of Moher will still be... Oh, we need to check that. We need to check that. Now, where am I? I'm over here. Right, let's have a look. So, get your bearings, Murph. Where are we? Hang on now, lads. I went upside down there for a second. Where exactly am I? There's the M7. Is that Portlaoise? Yeah, that's Portlaoise. How do you know it's Portlaoise? Well, if you come in this way, you should pass by the prison. There's the prison. Then you come down this way, there's the hospital. Yeah, that's Portlaoise. So what I'm looking for are these mountains over here. There's a place down here. Ah, yeah, that's way better. I'll show you this now in a second. It's called the Rock of Dunamaze. And it's over here, look. And these mountains here, there's 3 of them, right? And the Rock of Dunamaze is on the top of one of them. Is it covered in trees? Shouldn't be covered in trees. The Rock of Dunamaze. This thing is older than the Rock of Cashel. It's over here somewhere. So they're covered in trees, but they shouldn't be because it's ruins, right? Yeah, that's fairly accurate. This is fairly accurate now. Right, Cliffs of Moher is the last one. Pull her up there now, Jemima. Yup, you devil. Man alive, look at the difference here, even the Midlands of Ireland, look. So look at this big Egypt. Right? Right, hang on. Cliffs of Moher now. Cliffs of Moher or Bushed? Right, get over here to the side. Right, Spanish Point, I suppose. Pull up there, Murph. Let's see what happens here. The Rock of Dumbass. Now, let me see. Mountains, you mean hills. Oh, look, it's the hymn. Hello, ailerons into wind. It's good to see you, Stu. How are you, man? Right, let's have a look here now. Did it go far enough? Well, they're missing their textures. Right? They are mixing, like, they're missing their textures, but in terms of the mesh, it's a lot better. Look at that, lads. Anyone who knows this neck of the woods default in the sim, that is better. It's just there's no textures. But the mesh is way, way better. Look. So look at that. I'm not even on the ground yet. You know what I mean? That is better. Yeah, there is. There's a Cliff Samoa update in it. Zaiti, what you reckon? Epic filming out this neck of the woods. Yeah, they're not bad, lads. It's way better than default. They look jank. No, but don't worry about the textures because, well, there are no textures for the cliffs. But in terms of mesh, although it's doing all sorts of trying to load up stuff there. I don't know what it's trying to do with the terrain. But in terms of the mesh, as in the height, that's a huge improvement. We were in the Lake District. Fulda, good to see you. Could Orbx have not included the textures to this mod? I don't think so. Fort Noob, good to see you. They tend not to do textures. Because, like, you know, then it becomes a massive scenery file. And I think this thing is like 20 gigs as it is. Don't get me wrong, lads. That looks categorically crap because there's no textures. But when it comes to the mesh, they're now much higher. But you're still not going to fly around here because, well, it looks crap. But the mesh is, that's what we're talking about, the mesh. The mesh is better. Like, it is way better. You know what I mean? But even at altitude, like, you're not going to be, you know what I mean? It's not great. I'm up here now towards kind of Ackle and up that neck of the woods. The Burden. Yeah, they're not too bad. They're higher than that, though. Oh, do you know where I have to go? Hang on a second. Mr. Two-Tone, kill me if I don't check it out. We need to go up to that place. Let me see here now. Ben Bulbin, lads. Up to Ben Bulbin. And if I didn't Derry, we can. Up around Ackle, north of Mayo, very cliffy. Always been a bit glitchy. Yeah, it's terrible, isn't it? Yeah, we'll check out Dover then as well, yeah. The Home Improvement Store. Mount Errigal. Now this is going to be a tester because I know this neck of the woods very well. Give it a second to load, maybe. There's really no change up here, lads. So, if anything, it's slightly taller, but like it's the wrong shape. So from Sligo Airport, which is here out in Strand Hill, down to me, Murph. Down to me, Murph. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. It's not as sloped as that, if you know what I mean. Like, it's not a sheer drop either, but it's just not as sloped as that, you know what I mean? They always forget us in Sligo. It is better. It's higher. It is higher. There's no two ways about it. That is higher. And then this is all Yates County up here. You've another Glenveigh, I think, in there as well. So yes, it's an improvement. It is better. Like, there's no point saying it's not. Right, what are we saying then? Dover. Down to Dover. Damn it, Jamie, it's down to the sun. Where's Dover now? Is it here? Let's have a look. Sterling, you take care. Yeah, we're going to wrap it up here now in a second, lads. Just want to check out Dover and see what we can see. I don't know, like, first and foremost, the airplane is really good. By the way, it's a stunning little airplane. Ugh, what's going on here with the textures, lads? Give it a second. Give it a second. Now, it's possible I'm missing scenery for this area. Because, like, that just doesn't look right. That just doesn't look right. Sure it doesn't? So, what I'm thinking is, I probably don't have the... Because Dover, the Cliffs of Dover are a POI, lads. That's probably why it's not loading in. Because I think I have POIs turned off. But I can say, just by looking at it, they are a lot taller. So, this is not a fair comparison because I don't have the POI loaded in. So you're looking at this thinking, what in the hell, Murphy? I don't have the POI loaded in. So it's not giving you the actual textures that belong to this area. However, I can tell you that the mesh is a lot higher. Well, is it? Yeah, it is. It is. It is. So the mesh is better, right? That is, look, so Jesus. Look down here, look. That's all. That's really good mesh all around here. There's like the White Cliffs of Dover aren't that small bit that we get in the sim. If they come on for, they're huge, right? There's miles of them. But I'm just missing the texture there. That's all. Looks like the Roland Emmerich film down there. Yeah, no, but it is better. It is better, lads. 100%. Just for this section here, there's a POI for this within the sim. It came with World Update 3. I don't know what's happening over that side. That looks just weird. But definitely here, the mesh is way better. That's way better, like. But it's purely the mesh I'm looking at. Don't worry about the textures for the cliffs themselves. Because it looks janky as hell. No, I think they did a great job. Orbx have done a great job with this mesh. It's $10. And cheaper if you have all the other mesh packs. You know what I mean? Like, it's considerably cheaper if you have the other mesh packs. Do you know what I mean? I think it's good. What a mesh. What a mesh, she says. Brilliant. I don't think that's higher, but maybe more defined. Yeah, I'm unsure. I'm unsure. It looks better, though. You know what I mean? So, yeah, no, I think it's all right. I think it's kind of decent, and you know, not too shabby at all. As he turns his microphone around. But anyway, lads, that's going to do it for this evening's stream. I want to thank you very, very much indeed for tuning in. If you're watching us here on YouTube, thank you very much indeed. Here on Twitch, thank you very much indeed. We checked out quite a bit. We had the flight sim news for this week. We had the guys from Flight FX showing off Project Apex, looking very, very good indeed. And what else? We had Captain Gaming on, taking us for a spin in the PC-12 as we complete that mini-series. I hope you guys enjoyed that mini-series. We'll do more. We might focus on a different aircraft soon and have a look at it. And then, of course, we checked out the awesome CAC Winjeel, which is from Ants Airplanes, and I'm going to be flying this thing on Friday night. We have a group flight coming up, and then we checked out the Orbx mesh from for Great Britain and Ireland, the British Isles. Hopefully it's either made you decide one way or another if you want to pick up that add-on or not. And if you know, if this stream helps you make a decision on something, happy days. That's what it's all about. Do you know what I mean? So I have this close. Oh, jeez, I'm after pressing something there. I need to add like sound effects to this, you know. But yeah, I'm having too much fun here. I've more stuff on the way. I've my new cables and I've other bits and bobs coming into the studio as well. We are getting there. So let me know your feedback with all the different cameras and stuff that we have going on. Do you know, the back of me head cam, glorious. Do you know what I mean? I mean, just like I'm talking to you over here, right? Right? Do you know? And then we have this other one. Jesus, look how grey that is. That's absolutely, positively sweet lamb of suffering, Jesus. Well, I'm going to roar myself to sleep. So until next time, you take care. Thank you so much indeed for tuning in. And we'll see you on Friday. What? Look at Kane! He's an implant! Did you see what happened to Kane again? Did the wind just blow him off to another country, the poor devil? He had absolutely